Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective, specifically another Transfer Watch on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Yes, people, once more, big up to you all. I hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show today. That is not easy. Thank you so much. And keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Already we have 17 likes. We're moving very fast. And hopefully we'll get it to 300 likes today. And for those of you that are watching, for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, we sincerely do appreciate you. You watching alone does provide great value. So thank you so much for doing that. But if you can do us one more favor, which is to take a second to drop a like on the stream, we'd really appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and catch up with what we have in the chat. Say hello to people there, then come back to the panel, and we'll start addressing the items we have lined up. As usual, we don't have too many stuff lined up, but we'll talk quite a lot about the little we have lined up, if that makes sense. Let's see what we have in the chat already. Appreciate you all, and once I'm all caught up, with saying hello with those people in the chat, then I will share the link to the panelists so they can join me, and you have a diversified opinion, not just me boring you to death. We need to be fast with Caicedo deal accordingly. Okay, you're referencing the report that Liverpool may well be interested in signing him if they lose Fabinho and what's the English international? I think, is it the English international? Yeah, to Saudi Arabia. I don't think that will happen. Want to hijack the deal? I don't think they will. I knew that was exactly what you were referencing. But more importantly, Nemaya, I hope you're doing well. And my bro DJ says, big up from Romania. Coach, you're on holiday there for 2 weeks. We have 2 hours ahead from here. Okay, which means you should be 1 p.m. where you are. But nice to see you, brother. Again, enjoy yourself. A little break here and there would do you a world of good. So I appreciate you letting us know. But enjoy yourself, and much love to you. Let's see what else we have here. Remember to like, subscribe. I see we are dragging our feet on the Caicedo deal. Liverpool have now entered the race. I think what I read was that so I read something similar to the effect of them, if they lose those 2 players that I had mentioned a few seconds ago, that they would join the race. But I think the player prefers coming to us rather than any other club, and I think we'll wrap up that deal. Though we've seen quite a lot of conflicting reports there, some are saying all that is left is for us to agree on the structure of the payment. We've agreed on the fee, we've agreed personal terms with the player, and the player wants to come to us. That is just what we've meant. They made us to believe that. How truthful it is, I honestly do not know. But for some reason, I'm just confident. I'm confident that that's one player, one deal we will wrap up. Because as I've said before, that will be one of our most important signings at this particular transfer window. If that makes sense. With imminent departures of Henderson and Fabinho to Saudi Arabia, those are the players. I talked about, but I don't think that will happen. Let's see. They've already signed 2 midfielders already, and they did that again, knowing that there's a possibility that they lose those 2 players, maybe at least a Fabinho. But that's just my opinion. Let's see what happens. Dominic Maximilian Eneche, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. He says, big up, coach, from Center of Unity, ABJ. I told you before, I've lived in Karu, Mararaba, those 2 places. But thank you. Nice to see you, Dominic. Already read another report that Caicedo is up for any move now Chelsea not only priority. Yeah, he's open to joining other clubs. I think he's open. Maybe my translation of that report is that whatever a club that reaches an agreement with Brighton, he won't have a problem joining them. But as I said before, that's the least of my concern. I think we'll get that deal over the line. And big up to you, Carlito. Always nice to see you, says Jabaroni. Carlito is the co-owner of Worldwide Chelsea YouTube channel. If you haven't, I urge you to go subscribe to that particular channel. I trust Sadiq even when he owned the channel alone. And then, when Carlito became the co-owner, well, you know, I have a good relationship with Carlito too. So, not just because of the relationship, but because they produce great content and they do bring on some big name journalists every now and then and good panelists every time they go live. So go check it out. And Sadiq himself makes a short videos, nice videos updating you on Chelsea transfer activities. So you better go check it out. I appreciate you joining in the chat, bro. Off the Blues, coach. I hail Osita Anthony. I hail you too. I hope you're doing well. And we have a link here to the membership. We do that to help us raise money to support students every month. We've done that, I think, 3 times now. And we're happy that all the cash prize winners, they've all received the cash prizes that they won. And we want to continue with that and the Stay in School project. And we do it every month. But even here, we know that the membership thing isn't even enough to sponsor that. But I'm able to foot the bill, for lack of a better term. But we're happy to do that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and the membership costs just $2.99. If you can afford it, the link is pinned at the very top. We'll be happy to welcome you as a member. There are some benefits, which starts again soon. Not been able to do that, to do members only show that much because the whole thing has been a bit overwhelming to me. But we'll get back to that very soon. And this is Carlito telling me that I cannot afford him. Let's see what happens. But big up to you. Big up, Coach says Chelsea till I die. It says, big up, Coach. Caicedo will get done. They are just putting Liverpool there. It's a bit like the Ricedale when they put City in there. You could argue just I'm not too sure. Let me not just say what I'm not too sure about. And I hate to do that. Big up to you too, Diggs. BTW7, always nice to see you. What else do we have there? Is Chelsea really serious about this Caicedo deal? Yeah, we are serious. Because we want him doesn't mean we should just go, give them what they're asking and end up overpaying. And if we do that, if the owners do that, I'm quite sure some of us here in the chat will be the first to say we overpaid for Caicedo. And especially if he falters, then we'll take that story and run with it. But I think we will get that deal over the line. I'm not worried at all. I thought that was a fake report, possibly a fake report. But sometimes you just read it and then dissect and analyze it and come to a sensible conclusion. Like I said, I don't believe it. I just told you what we do here is we get those reports, look at it, analyze it, and come to a sensible conclusion. At this point, I don't think you should believe that. Our modus operandi this summer is sell and then buy. This is fine as long as it does not inhibit our ability to buy the guys we are targeting. Finding the delicate balance is a dangerous game. Yeah, it's not easy, and we've been quite lucky to have sold as many players we've sold this particular window. I was thinking that was going to be very problematic for us. The Saudis, they're the saving grace, I have to say. But other than that, how you can say we've handled the sales. When Arsenal came in with their first bid, and same as the case of Mason Mount, the fans were saying, just sell it, take the money and run. And look what happened. Look how much we got for both players or something. Honestly, especially for the sale of Hazard, I did not think, I never believed we were going to get something close to that amount. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. This is somebody who knows Carlito saying hello to him. We'll move on. I think it's about time I share the link with the panelists so they can come in and help provide a diversified opinion to you. And not leave you to just listen to leave me alone to bore you to death. If that makes sense, just give me 1 second here. I'll be right back with you. As you can see, I'm still having a bit of an issue with my voice. It's way better than the day I had to shut down the show, but I think we'll be all right. Just give me 1 second here. Right, there you go. Oh, no, the wrong link. Just give me 1 second here. I made a silly mistake. I'll be right back with you in just a few seconds. I shared the wrong link there. Right. As you're waiting for me, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes. We've been averaging the 150 since 145 since the transfer window opened, but we can do better than that. Right, there you go. I've shared the link. If they have an issue with that, they let me know. Let's see. Okay, let's move on. Anything else to catch up with here before we go to the items we have lined up to address? We have Kalita says, if you trim too much fat, you start trimming muscles. It has been a decent buy subtraction of this summer, but now we need to focus on buying. I like the way you put that. Yeah. If we sell too much, the squad will become too thin, and that will become an issue. Because if anything, we've learned that the size of the squad really does matter. Had it not been for the size of our squad, chances are we'd be playing in the championship right now. Because of how many we had a village of injured players out last season. Big up, guys. We retired. What the? Okay, people are making photographs that Chelsea need. Who? Neymar Jr. And yet his payment, I don't think we'll be signing Neymar. His salary is something I don't think we can afford at this point. But I'm not the owners. Maybe they can. Maybe they've done the calculations and seen, given his commercial value, there's a chance we'll be able to bring in more than we'll be spending on him. But I'm not too sure about that. Juventus have offered 37.5 million euros plus 2.5 in bonuses for Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku, and offer Inter hope to match once they have sold Andre Onana to Manchester United. And I'm hearing that particular deal is done, and Onana has become a Manchester United player. I'm not too sure, but I think it was Terry Flowers, football terrorist, who shared something to that effect. Constantine Dante, always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And big up to you too, Jesse. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. I am well, except that I'm still struggling with my voice, but it's been better for a while now. Coachila, always nice to see you, Constantine. I appreciate you joining. I am going to get myself a coffee. Do you want some? Yeah, find a way to get it over to me, and I appreciate it. And the beautiful game, always nice to see you. Big up, Coach. I have a question for you, the panel and the chat. What is Savard's opposition? And you are not allowed to say the bench. I see what you did there. And his thing, I hate it. I honestly, I sincerely deep down do hate, again, to talk about Hazard right now. He's no longer a Chelsea player, and we're not playing against him. And I'm hearing he didn't do well his first start. No, he came off the bench from what I'm hearing. Honestly, I've moved on beyond him like this. That's how I operate. I don't concern myself with how he performed. And I'm not going to judge him until I watch the whole game. Maybe I have to do that, but I see what you did there. And I'm seeing something to the effect of Arteta, you could say, assuring Arsenal fans that he's going to come good. Good luck to him, but not the day we get to play him. Let's see. And I think play him anywhere deep, not as number 9. I think he'd do better. But that's, by the way, nice to see you, brother. Contain beautiful, especially the fridge where they store puddings. Wow. Coach needs some honey for that voice. Yeah, I think it's a part of the makeup of the remedy that I'm thinking. This is not just coffee. It's mixed with honey and all the stuff I don't want to say here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 39 likes. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200 as soon as possible. And if you can, if you're using, I'm sure, an Android using a Chrome browser, You will see the heart icon down there. And beyond that, you still see the 100% icon. You see these and the heart icon also. If you can click on them, it will help trigger the YouTube algorithm and get it to push more people to come join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Big up to you too. Jackson CFC, I appreciate you joining, brother. Brianni Yahayu, aka 343 Dynama, aka Vivel FC. One more, aka Contender FC. I appreciate you joining, brother. Of course, Havertz didn't do well. The brother looked lost, like he always did at Chelsea. But you could argue it's too early to judge him. If we're being honest, it was just a preseason game. There's a chance he comes good for them, but I wouldn't wish him bad. I'm not going to talk about how well I want him to do at Arsenal because, yeah, he's no longer a Chelsea player. So it's too early. So let's just not get all excited that Arsenal paid us that much money and sign a player who end up flopping. Tony Tiger says, big up, coach, do you think Ampadu deserves a chance at first team football? He's still only 22. I know, right? But those players that been, you could say, he emerged so early onto the scene, since that right now people are thinking he should be as good as maybe Makalele or maybe Bonucci and all that. But I don't know. It's up to the manager. He's training with the first team. He's not one of those the players who are training separately, who for certain the clubs are sure will leave. But I'm hearing the club are open to selling him. So I'm not too sure what to make of his case now. He's a good player. If he moves on, fine. If he stays, fine. He's capable of, you could say, holding his own if you give him the opportunity. He actually didn't do bad during the preseason before last season. He did well, and I was shocked. Took let him leave alone. But let's see what the club does. Hi, Coachila. Khalid Hamid, nice to see you, brother. In my opinion, I think Ivan Toney will be much better than Vlahovic, as Toney knows the Premier League. But I don't think, here's the thing, I honestly, sincerely do not think that the club will look beyond the fact that you can argue, I don't know if he's overcome that issue, that he's a gambling addict. And he went to the extent of betting against his own team. That's a huge problem for me. If the club looks beyond that and signs him, I will support him. But for me as an individual, it's been difficult for me to look at it and say, you know what, let's just focus solely on his abilities as a striker and not, you can say, and not look at the fact that he is a gambling addict and actually went to the extent of betting against his own team. It's a problem for me, but that's just me. Actually, egg yolk with sugar will fix it. Okay, you're talking about the remedy. Egg yolk with sugar will fix it. It's old school recipe. Okay, maybe I'll try that because it's been ups and downs, really. You can say it was just a preseason, but it looked like a regular Havertz game. Probably this because how you've been seeing him. But let's not waste our time talking about him. He no longer plays for us. Jesse says, Coachila, I just got a message that it is a 13 years anniversary since I opened a Twitter account, and it's 13 years since my last tweet. Wow. Yeah, you're really dedicated to tweeting. Any suggestion? What should I post? Take your time. Don't be in a rush. Maybe by the time the show ends, I'll come up with a suggestion for you. What do you guys put yourself in watching Havertz? Why do you guys put yourself through that pain of watching him? Havertz, Mount, etc. Players they don't play for us anymore. They wanted to leave and they're gone. Honestly, I'm just again. I just maybe we'll talk about them the day we get to play them. That's all I would do. I will not waste my time to see how well they're doing during preseason, especially. No. I'm not going to do that. Can we have a team of 20 teenagers plus Ivan Toney? Yeah, good luck. You see that? I get what you did there. Let's see what else we have here. Kevin Morilla says, Coachila, if we lose out on Caicedo, I will be so mad with the directors. taking long and end up losing him or embarrassing. But I don't think we'll lose him. I'm not concerned about that report. Liverpool are interested in signing. We'll look into signing him should they lose Fabinho and what's their captain. I don't think that happens, honestly. Coach, I am in no rush. I have waited for 13 years. Can wait for a few minutes. I hope Musk's Twitter will still be around. I think Twitter will be around. If anything, they're actually implementing some other features that has made it even better. I get it. He's just trying to save as much money as he can, especially from the perspective of the usage, the stress on the server. I think he no longer uses the Google server and all that. Ben Constantine, good day, Coach. Greetings from Cyprus. Greetings to you too. And I'm guessing you're a student there. If that's not the case, do let me know. But that's, by the way, Jackert says, who's going to be Chelsea's set piece taker? I think we have a few. Enzo is going to do it. Nkunku, and I'm hearing who else? Cherki, if we end up signing him. Yeah, but let's see what happens. Alonso was the last player to score directly from a free kick for us. And yeah, that hasn't happened for a while. And that is really a problem. So we're going to go into, we will start addressing the items we have lined up one by one, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 44 likes. Let's get it up to 50 and shoot for 100 likes. Let's make it happen, people. Much love to you guys. I have Ty in the house, so we'll start addressing the items. And Ty, in a beat, we'll share the link to his channel, and I think you should go check it out. Let's see the first items we have lined up here. Struggling a bit with my voice, and it doesn't help. I hate to talk this much whenever I'm losing my voice, and that's when usually I don't want to say when somebody gets me mad, and because I hate talking much because of how stressful it can be to try to talk when I feel that way. Sometimes I get into fights, but I'm a gentleman. I don't fight that much. Ty, are you there, bro? Welcome to the panel. I hope you're doing well.
Big up. Can you hear me? Is my background noisy?
I think I can hear you crystal clear. Nothing so bad there, but I appreciate you joining. More importantly, let's see anything else here. Okay, the people just exchanging commentary. Ty, we have on the screen the first item saying Mauricio Pochettino is keen to have a homegrown core to his team with Reece James, Levi Cole, Ampadu, and Conor Gallagher among those set to benefit next season. You can say from that preference, that's how I see it. What do you make of that? I think we've always talked about how he probably will like Gallagher and will try, you could say, to nurture him into an even better player, because I think there's a good player in him. Do I think he's the best player at Chelsea right now? No. Do I think he's the worst? No. There's a good player in him, and I think he has something that Pochettino values so much in players, which is that energy and the sort of amount of running he does on the pitch. So, Ty, what do you make of that particular report?
It's good and it's also bad.
Bad in one sense, I want to hear. But go ahead. You land the good part and the bad part. I'm listening to you.
It's bad because you're gonna always have some homegrown players that think they're ready, and then when they don't get that opportunity, they're going to feel like, oh, the managers said this was a part of his plan, and I'm not in his plan. So that aspect is bad, but it's also good, and it's mostly good, to be honest, because it means that you have those fans or those people who are saying that we keep sending these players and there's no pathway or there's no way for the academy graduates, the homegrown players to get an opportunity to come in, prove themselves, prove their worth, and save the club from going out in the transfer market and having to buy players, because they have these players that they have invested in for years or however long they've been at the club for. So it's good because it means that there'll be players that will not from the academy that will be getting that opportunity. But at the same time, you're going to have a lot of these academy graduates who think they're ready, and perhaps they won't be, and they're going to start holding Pochettino to his word in terms of some things, but it's going to be down to the players that he's assessed,
Mhm.
and he's seen that they're ready. So Conor Gallagher is a player that I think is 50-50 because he hasn't really been the greatest player, and he also has a lot of interest out there as well. So it depends on what happens with him. And Levi Cole is a whole different story, to be honest.
It doesn't look like Gallagher himself wants to leave. He wants to stay. And he's also said something to the effect of him wanting to play under Mauricio Pochettino because he's heard so much good stuff again with regards to how good he is with young players. But I think I see him staying. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think there's a good play in him. He's not a finished article yet. But this, if anybody can help him become an even better player with purpose and not just run around for 90 minutes, I think it is this man, honestly. But that's just my opinion. And let's see what else we have lined up here. Big up to you too, all of you. Constantine that just says Nkunku probably will be our free kick taker. Yeah, let's see. Maybe it depends on the angle and the range, because all of them, I don't think the specialists it depends. You can say the distance from the goalpost, maybe. Broya, no, and Gallagher, no. I know you feel like Broya isn't ready. And Broya, at this point, you could say we're not too sure how he's going to turn up, given the long-term injury. But let's see what happens. Captain Colwell, you call him. We chased Holland all summer and ended up with Lukaku. Well, we chased Caicedo all summer and ended up with blank deja vu. Oh, no, I'm not concerned. I get it. A lot of people are concerned, but I think we're actually nearing an agreement with Brighton. And somebody, I'm not too sure if I trust the person. I just saw something saying that we're closer to reaching an agreement with Brighton, and it's getting closer. I'm not concerned really, but you have every right to be concerned, and I can understand why. Hopefully, Reece will be fit. Hopefully, and we get to that in a bit. Chelsea midfield lacks height. Even our fullbacks are short in the air and aren't good in the air. Two centre backs are going to be the only guys to defend a corner or free kick, and we will continue to complain about the height of our goalkeeper and all that. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Any updates on Caicedo? We'll get to that in a bit. Can Chelsea look at Gift Orban and the Valencia goalkeeper? Hey, Michael, I appreciate you joining. And I think it was Brian who's been talking about Gift Orban. I think I've seen a bit of him. I think he's in the key. Some Chelsea fans were complaining that he's a bit too arrogant with regards to what he said. Was it about Arsenal or Tottenham? I can't quite recall. But we're not interested in him. Big up to you too, Chelsea. Although I hope you're doing well. From now on, please try as much as you can to keep the topics aligned. If you're having a conversation with somebody, that's fine by me. But if we're talking about a particular topic, it doesn't help to be switching between the topics just like this. It can be exhausting. As much as I like to interact with you, that doesn't help. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're already at 52 likes. We're moving at a rocket speed. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200, then 300. I hope you're happy with that, Constantine Dante. Let's see what other item we have lined up here, and so that we can knock them out as soon as possible. So once we knock out the items we have lined up, then we'll start taking your questions there. This one also, Inter Milan's latest offer was rejected. Chelsea have rejected Inter Milan's latest offer of £26 million for Romelu Lukaku. We want 14 million pounds for the Belgium international. I don't know if he's retired. I'm not too sure. But I like what we're doing there. Because I don't know what I'm seeing reports saying stuff to the effect of him not wanting to come back to Chelsea, and he hopes that we take the offer that Inter Milan has on the table for us. I think that alone will infuriate, will not make the Chelsea hierarchy happy. And as we discussed yesterday, I think egos are coming to play right now. So it's a matter of one party trying to show the other, look, we have to do what I want. And Lukaku feeling like no, I go where I want to go, and you have to take the deal or forget it. That has complicated the situation, but I like what Chelsea are doing, and I'm happy with that. So if you're in the chat, what do you make of the fact that Chelsea rejected the Inter Milan's letters offer of £26 million? And I'm not sure whether their plan is to take him on a 2-year loan, like they had, like the initial offer, whether this is different, whether this is just paying us 26 million, whether their intent was to pay us 26 million immediately and take him outright and not have to, again, that is just, I'm not too sure. This is not detailed. But Ty, what do you make of the situation? I like the way we're handling this, honestly, in my opinion. But if you're there, Ty, you have the floor. All right, it looks like Ty walked away from his desk. While I wait for Ty, I've explained that I like what
I'm here.
Yeah, okay, you go ahead. What do you make of it? We rejected their latest offer of £26 million. And we're hearing the following report here saying that Inter are expected to offer 35 million plus bonuses for Romelu Lukaku, which Chelsea could accept. Not too sure whether they will accept, but could accept with a final decision expected by Monday. As I said, I love what we're doing, but Ty, what do you make of the situation?
Fantastic. Inter Milan seem like they want to get the cheapest thing ever and believe that they can just offer something and Chelsea will accept. But I don't believe and I respect that because I mean look at like we spoke about this yesterday as well. The directors have won our trust and they've gained our trust rather. And for people who will say just accept it so you can leave, look at what happened with Mason Mount. People kept saying accept the bid because Man United may not come in with a new bid. Look at Arsenal or Real Madrid. Real Madrid walked away from Mikael Areizabalaga, that's fine. But we stuck to our valuation. We should do the same with Lukaku. Lukaku wants to leave the club. He's made it blatantly clear. But at the end of the day, we have the yes. We have the we have the authority to say he leaves or he doesn't leave, no matter how he feels. So if he wants to leave, that well, that's. And I'm gonna use the Caribbean saying that is your problem. You're lucky that is not my problem because at the end of the day, you're still contracted under Chelsea. So obviously, the final yes will be by the club. So yeah, I am happy we rejected the bid. If they walk away, then they walk away. Lukaku will be at the receiving end of just being punished then because there are other clubs that have come in for him. He's made it clear he doesn't want to go there. But we should stick to evaluation and we should stick with it because we're trying to get money here and it's business at the end of the day. So
and we've done enough for them. We're not their cash cow, but go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, stick with evaluation, and if we can get closer to it, even if it's not it, then we go from there. But we should stick with evaluation because at the end of the day, we have upper hand here.
Yeah, we do have the upper hand, and I hope we stick to our guns and not you can say given to their push for paying again to pay a lesser fee than what demanded. And it's a good thing that there are two other suitors who are willing to pay more than Inter are willing to pay. So we must not let Lukaku leave to Inter Milan on the cheap. I get it; it's a risk, but it's a risk worth taking. We need to make an example of him. He hasn't, you could say, behaved well in terms of his comments. And Inter also, especially the Inter Milan president, I think has been reckless with his words, saying publicly that we're sure, we're well aware that we cannot get anything sizable from the sale of Lukaku. I don't think that's okay. I think that's probably must have, you could say, infuriated the Chelsea hierarchy. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're already at 57 likes. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200. This says that Chelsea shouldn't accept anything less than £40 million. And that's Joel Jr. I am with you. I think they've milked us enough. We shouldn't bend over for them again. Big up to you, Shrey, over Shrey. When you get a chance, please do share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. I appreciate you all finding the time to be in the chat today. So much love from you and how we help others help each other. I appreciate that. They better go ahead and pay the full amount. And I don't think we're actually bought. I don't think Chelsea will bought. We've seen that with Mount. We've seen that with the case of Kai Havertz. I was trying to say our goalkeepers are struggling not because of their weaknesses alone. Our midfield teams overall lack height, and that makes us and the goalkeeper vulnerable. And we concede a lot of goals with corners and free kicks. Please, let's try as much as we can to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to be keeping whatever you have in the chat. We need to be stronger. Pay us the correct amount or rot in the under-21s. And if we send him to train with the under-10s, under-21s, if he really loves it, if he really still enjoys playing football, he'd be pushed to buy out his contract and leave. Because it just seemed as if he's trying to show us that, look, I go where I want to go, and you have no say in that. And I remember that tweet he had out a few months ago saying something to the effect of, I'm going to show you how it's done, something like that. And you can interpret that's exactly what he's doing now. Again, he has to get what he wants, otherwise nothing happens. But let's see what the club does. But we've handled it. We've handled it perfectly so far, and I'm loving it. Chelsea don't need these players. Serious, what players are you mentioning? I'm paying attention. Let's see what else we have here. This is 14 million pounds for Lukaku or nothing. Exactly, that's how I feel. Pay the money or go. I have nothing against the player himself. I get it. His comments hasn't helped, but that doesn't mean he's a bad person. He may well be feeling that we haven't treated him well, especially the Chelsea fans, and that's his way of getting back to us. But I have to say that is just an opinion. No way to prove that that's a fact. Juventus is offering 37.5 plus 2.5. But the question is, the player where he wants to go wields a huge influence with regards to where he ends up. If that makes sense, we could have we could have actually, for instance, in the case of Christian Pulisic, we could have taken the offer from Lyon. Was it Lyon? I think it was Lyon. But his preference was to go to AC Milan, and that you could say, we can't change that. You can't force a player to go where they don't want to go. Chelsea should please sell Sergio Correa and Aubameyang. They are not a Chelsea standard. Let's see. I still think Correa stays. It takes some offer for the club to decide to let him go. But let's see what happens. Maatsen looks like he stays, and what's going to happen, I don't know. Maybe they will get Maatsen to put pen to paper for a new long-term contract and go back on loan to what's the club that got Burnley. So there's a chance he'd still be eager to play with them. You can say that rush for getting promoted with them could still be there, and maybe the club would convince him to sign a new long-term contract and go back on loan there. I think that would be easy to do, actually. That's what I think. But let's see what happens. This is Inter. Let's come in here from Rain. It says Inter have money. They need to pay up. Yeah, they've sold players, 2 players right now. I think they've succeeded in selling Onana too. That's what I'm seeing. Some reports out there are saying. But let's see. Inter is not serious. They think they can cheat on us again. Pay up or walk away. Jafta Sikwa, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Suraj Mala, Oblak could be a good option as our next goalkeeper. He's one of those goalkeepers as good they are as shot stoppers. I'm not too sure with regards to his ability on the ball. Same thing I've been saying about the Italian international that plays for PSC. Now it's looking like Luis Enrique doesn't actually trust him, given how he's good with his feet, and it's looking to sign Kepa Areizabalaga, if we are to believe the reports. But I've always, Donnarumma, I've always, you could say, been suspicious of his ability on the ball. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. I wouldn't mind Oblak as a shot stopper, but I'm not too sure how good he is with it. Again, distribution and on the ball overall. Nobody cares. He wants to go. He has to hold that. It's as simple as that. Chelsea should teach Lukaku a lesson so that in the future, other players will not try anything like that. That's how I feel too. Liverpool are interested in Caicedo as they are about to sell Fabinho and Henderson to Saudi Arabia, according to reports. That's the disclaimer I want to hear. I don't think that's the truth. I think they've signed 2 midfielders already. I get it. Maybe the one expecting to sell to lose what's his name, to lose their captain, and as that is happening, I think to me this is just the media making exploiting the fact that we're going after Caicedo and Liverpool are losing 2 midfielders. So it makes sense to create a story out of that, and people will be all over it. That's just how I see it. Ty, I don't know if you've spoken about the Lukaku situation. I think you have.
Yeah, I did.
All right, thank you so much. I think we'll be moving on from that particular topic in a minute or two. Liverpool will get Lavia. I don't know if they are willing to pay 85 million for Caicedo, and they've also signed McAllister. I think they've signed one of the midfielder too. So I don't think they'd have the luxury to spend that much money on Caicedo. So it just that actually debunks that report, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have lined up here and move on. Anything else about Lukaku there? I'm not too sure. Yeah, this one is saying Inter are expected to offer 35 million euros plus bonuses for Romelu Lukaku, which Chelsea could accept. Is this old? Is this new? On the 14th? Let me see. Yeah, so this is actually new with a final decision expected by Monday, but let's see what happens. Right, this report says that medical sources inside Cobham said that Reece James is set to have a scan on his knee following a training today to determine whether or not he will travel to the US. Medical sources remain optimistic. The second part, I really do not care about. I'm concerned. But the good thing is this: we have Mel Agosto, and at this point he's still fit. So the last I read something something about him, just him being part of the training session. But Ty, your thoughts, and if you're in the chat, what do you make of the report on the screen that it looks like Reece James? It looks like he's injured. I'm not too sure, but they still have to assess and you can say come to a conclusion to decide whether actually he joins us or joins the team on the preseason tour in the US. But Ty, if you're there, you have the floor.
Yeah, this is very concerning because if it's a case where he another knee problem, because he's every time there's been any injury scared or any injury, it's always been knee. It's very concerning. And James's season last season was halted a lot by that. So it is very concerning. But like you said, we do have Malo Gusto, who at this time is fit. But at the same time, you do need to be able to have all important. I don't want to say important players, but all players that needs to be assessed. All players that need to be there so that you can see which one is probably the most ideal one to go with going forward. And we need as much players for the preseason as possible so that we can decide on what will happen in terms of the latter parties of the transfer market and what needs to be done. But it is concerning because Reece James has been picking up little knocks, so he's been having little injury scares, and that is very concerning because he has proven to be a very key player and a good player, and it'll be very unfortunate if injuries continue to halt his progression or halt his career because he has the potential, but he also has the potential to get injured as well.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think if I see anybody argue that he's injury prone, I'd say yes, he is. And no kidding, I think that's all it is, really. Unfortunately, but it's a good thing we have Mel Agosto. Let's see. Hopefully, we'll find a lasting solution to that repeating, reoccurring injury, if you prefer. I'd prefer that than every now and then, every 2 days he gets injured. Caicedo to Chelsea is almost done. Liverpool is not a threat. They will sign Lavia, and you can argue the rumor is just absolute nonsense. Guys, do you want Vlahovic now, or will you wait for Tony? I don't want Tony. I'd rather we sign Vlahovic. But that is just me. But let's see what happens here. Liverpool wants a 20 million for Henderson, a 40 million for Fabinho. That's a 60 million. They can add a 30 million and get Caicedo. But let's see what happens. Do they really need him? That's a question you have to ask yourself. But let's see. I think that you're just trying to make sense of the news, and which if you ask me, I'd argue those that have put out the rumor that Liverpool will consider that they will consider signing Moises Caicedo. Those are the factors that they use to construct the rumors that has led to you also doing the same calculation there. Honestly, I'm not concerned. Sign Tone now, in my opinion, I don't think we're able to sign him now. Again, I've made my opinion clear there. I don't think we should go for him. Tone is still banding in. Will take a lot of time to get him a match fit. Until then, to when the whole season will be over. So it's a signing that doesn't even make sense given the length of the ban. It doesn't help in any way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 72 likes already. We're moving at a blistering speed, and I like that. Let's get it to 300 likes a day. Tom, Abida, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Poch meticulously, beautifully crafted a tactical plan against Madrid, which unfortunately seems to be hindered by the rumors of passing shortcomings, ultimately leading to PSG's exit. Yep, Donnarumma, I don't trust his ability on the ball. Despite the outcome, many analysts recognize Pochettino's tactical brilliance in how he outclassed Carlo in that particular game you just mentioned. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Right now, we're talking about Reece James's again, the concern that he may be injured, but we're not too sure now. Regarding Reece James, I don't think there's a cause for alarm. I just guess it's just a precaution. I hope that's the case. Otherwise, yeah, I join the boss that again that has been saying that he is injury prone. If that makes sense, Coach, it's time to have those uncomfortable conversations. Is Reece James injury prone? At this point, I would say yes. But I'd still also argue that he can still overcome that. That's just my opinion. Ty, what do you make of that? All right, I'm going to keep getting what we have until Ty comes in. Okay, Ty, go ahead. You're there. What do you make? Would you say that Reece James is injury prone?
I would, and I don't know. Like my microphone keeps not on me too, and I'm trying to unmute it. But yeah, he is. I've said it from the beginning of time that he is injury prone. And people said no, he's not injury prone. He's just getting injured. Like the definition of injury prone is literally what you define him as. He's prone to injury. He's prone or he's likely to get injured under certain circumstances. So he is injury prone. Any player that can consistently and they constantly get injured, it means that they're injury prone. They're prone to getting injured. And every player is prone to getting injured, but not all players are injury prone where they constantly and consistently get injured over time. But yeah, he is injury prone. It's obvious he is. And like I said, I'm hoping that injuries don't hamper or lessen his chances of becoming a completely successful player long term, because he has the potential, and it will be very unfortunate if he's in that bracket of players whose career have struggled or probably not have been to the level that it could have been based on injuries. It really would be unfortunate.
I thought he'd gone. He's again. I thought he's gone under the knife already, hasn't he? Or am I mixing things up here?
Sure. So I'm wondering. Depends on what knee though. Was it both knees? Was it one knee? It depends on what knee. But if he does have knee problems, then maybe it's a different problem. You never know.
I'm not too sure, but again, I hope we find a solution to that. It's just again every season, and it's been you can say those instances they're all chained. It's not like is injured now, and then next 2 months, you can say 6 months gets injured again. It's like, I think the most he stayed fit, you can argue 2 months, honestly, and it's concerning. I think it's uncomfortable, but we have to talk about it. Unfortunately, it's looking like his injury are prone. William is undergoing his medical at Nottingham Forest, and Cho to replace him at Fulham. And rumors are that he was offered to us. Coachila, until Reece James muscles gain strength, we need a flexibility on the right hand side of the pitch. We must keep hold of Chalobah. It will be concerning. It will be concerning for Fofana. As for a serious trouble saying from Chalo, Melo Gusto is there. If you're talking about the fullback and the wingback position, and Chalobah can also he's played there before, and the times he's played there for us, he was again able to fulfill that role effectively. We need to fight the Caicedo deal. I think Caicedo is someone club really wants, and if Partey goes to Saudi Arabia, Arsenal might make a move too. No, I think Arsenal they've already I don't think they'll come for Caicedo. Chalobah should be kept as an emergency right back for Gusto. Reece is injury prone. Oh wow, CJFX, nice to see you once more. It's been a minute, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. OMG, I would give Lukaku away for free. He is like a rugby player. Oh my goodness. And Ty has shared the link to his channel. Please, if you haven't, be sure to go check it out, and also do subscribe and let him know I sent you the link there. I cannot pin it right now because I pinned the link to the membership up there. Ty has some good videos, and if you're not too sure how good any new player we signed is, go check out Ty's player profile videos, and he will help you, or you can say, understand how that particular player operates on the pitch, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. We should not be selling anybody from the back line anymore, except for Cucurella. Okay, but let's see what the club does. Coach, do you think Dybala for 10 million to 15 million pounds for Chelsea is useful buy? Yeah, in my opinion, it is. But he said that he's not coming to Chelsea. He's happy at Roma, and the rumors seem to be all nonsense at this point. James is made of glass. Right now, we're talking about Reece James. Please, let's keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to skip your comments. Having Reece James and Fofana at right side, at the right side with their injury history, we have Gusto, and thank God Chalobah has not been sold yet. Even Ampadu can expect some game time at this space. It's concerning, and I don't think we should sell Chalobah, in my opinion. But here's the thing: the club were not pushing. Chelsea aren't pushing to sign him, and he isn't pushing to leave either. But the suspicion is that if the club gets a sizable offer, they may well consider selling him. The back will be Badiashile, Silva, Fofana. Let's see, and Levi Colwell, it seems, but I'm not too sure. Coach, if Real come in right now with a huge six-figure bid for James, would you sell? No, he's still very young, and young players usually are. If you seek, you can say an expat help, they may well find a lasting solution to that recurring injury. It has happened severally. You can say, to name one that I will never forget is the case of Ian Robin. But let's see what happens. Just to find a way to manage the player's fitness, and you're good to go. James Fofana, Chilwell, Gusto has injury issues. Silva will also struggle this year. Hopefully we have enough depth to be able to deal with that. Coach, when it comes to discussing Reece James, there's no need for alarm. The team is simply prioritizing his readiness for the entire season and taking necessary precautions to elevate his performance. That may well be the case. There's a chance it is nothing serious, and I hope that's the case. However, the question arises, should the captaincy be bestowed upon him, considering these potential concerns? That's why you have a captain and a vice captain. So even if he becomes a captain and is not fit enough to play, the vice captain, takes that role, if that makes sense. Candidates like Thiago or Kepa might be worth considering due to James's injury injury history. I don't think his injury will be an issue. If he has what it takes to lead the team, I think he gets it. But right now, as much as I want James to get it, I know probably most likely he will be Thiago Silva. Who becomes the vice captain? I'm not too sure. But let's see what happens. Chelsea Audio says Kyle Walker to Bayern close. They tried to keep him actually. Man City tried to keep him, but Bayern, I think, let him go there. I know English players usually are reluctant to go overseas, but I think that actually is starting to change gradually. Tell me more about Ian Matson. He's too good to be Godfrey. Is it too good? I'm not sure what to make of that. Maybe you need to rephrase it so that I can understand your point there. I know we all make such mistakes. Maybe your phone tried to help us spell something there, and I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Again, I've not been able to comprehend what you're trying to say there. The more Chelsea delay this Caicedo deal, the more we're going to eventually pay even more. Okay, we're not talking about Caicedo right now, but I just obliged you. What is six-figure B? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Modric, Stalin need to step up this season. I think they will. Stalin, he ended last season well, and I hope he goes into the coming season with the form he showed towards the end of the season. The last 2-3 games, James should be checked properly and solve his injury problems. Now we have Gusto. I hope we should be careful. Choose one, coach. Reece James at his best, or Trent at his best. I will keep Reece James. I think he is more equipped than Trent. He's excellent defensively and excellent offensively, if that makes sense. Coach, there seems to be a curse on the CFC premises from the hamstring, which is we need a doctor of different kind. Coach, I cannot recollect of what was the correct word in Nigeria for such witch doctor. You could say juju man, if that makes sense. Our native doctor, if you want pure English, but juju man would do. Coach, when Chilwell and James got injured at the same time, it destroyed our whole season. You're sure I cannot tempt you with 145 million, 110 add-ons? No, I won't. I will not be tempted. Maybe the honest will. But here's the thing: we have a good competition for him now, because Malo Gusto, he's a good player. There are aspects of the games where they differ, but I can't quite put my fingers or fit my finger on that right now, on those aspects right now. But here's the thing: I'm not concerned. I think we're fine. But we just have to be careful. Big up to you too. I'm at work. Okay, right now, so you can join on the panel. So, but big up to you, Martin. Oh, and your debut was excellent. I enjoyed listening to you talk Chelsea. Smash the like button, people. 81 likes, 19 more to get it to 100. We're moving quick. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200, then 300 likes. And we have Choma. Choma, hello to you too. Happy weekend. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you stopping by to say hello. Yes, exactly. We need a juju man. Yep. Jersey saying Levi has offered an astonishing. Okay, Levy, are you talking about Levy? An astonishing 10-year contract offer to Kane. A proposition that could span beyond his entire football career and encompass post-retirement corporate roles at Parks. Wow. It's up to him whether he wants, again, I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of that. I agree if Reece James could overcome his injury struggles, he could overtake a Trent because Reece is good on the ball and he's defensively, offensively, and good on the ball too, and can do those things that Trent can do, but Trent cannot do most of the things that Reece can do. Let me just leave it at that. Maybe I'm being a bit biased because I'm a Chelsea fan. If that's the case, so be it, really. This offer, coupled with the time Kane has already spent at Spurs, has led some to view the club as a figurative jail. Maybe, I think it doesn't differ. It's good. It's good this injury has happened now because we now have time to do something about it. £165 million, my final offer. I'm not taking it. You can go keep it. And I don't think Chelsea will either. Here's the thing, I think Reece is not going anywhere. Inter could buy Lukaku by Monday if they sell Onana. According to Terry Flowers, the football terrorist, he's saying that the deal is done already. If that's the case, that means they'd have the money. If they sell Onana to United, Chelsea ready to accept 35 million euros, according to could. We had that report on the screen there. Not something we will accept that. This is not an injury. The reporting is misleading. He's fit and fine. They run scans on players as a precaution, and in this case, we have to even more careful. We don't want to risk him getting injured. So I believe what you're saying there. Ty, okay, you've talked about him. Let's see what else we have lined up. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We are at 85 likes, 15 more to get it to 100. Let's make it what happened, people. What else do we have lined up here? All right, just a picture of Melo Gusto, as you can say, the player that completes for a place for the right back position or the full back position or the right wing back position with Reece James. He's equally good, but operates slightly different. But I'll have to look at it even more to get a hold of on how they differ. This is Chelsea and Brighton conversation on Caicedo are positive. They are trying to work out the fixed fee and then the structure for the others. Then Caicedo will become a new Chelsea player. And this piece here, quoting Fabrizio Romano and podcast. Here we go. Here's the thing. Based on this, I'm going to say this. This doesn't sound like there is space for Liverpool. It doesn't sound like that. This to me sounds like we've agreed on the fee, but the payment structure is it's the only thing that is causing the delays. That's my opinion. But Ty, what do you make of this particular report?
I agree. It doesn't seem like there's space for Liverpool unless they just somehow commit. And then again, they have to. If the whole narrative is that they're going to go for him after losing Henderson, or not losing, selling Henderson and Fabinho, then by that time the structure could be resolved, unless they somehow say, okay, fine, we can just offer the amount that we can contact Brighton, ask them what structure they want, and then just straight up give them what they want in a structure that they want, and then say that, okay, we can get this from Fabinho and Henderson, so we will get back a bit of what we will spend. There's not much space unless Chelsea bottle it, as some people would say, and Brighton just disagrees and they go backwards. It doesn't seem like there's any space for them. It looks like Caicedo is more likely to join Chelsea, and one thing which I hope will still be the case, even if Liverpool comes in, is that he wants Chelsea. So at the end of the day, he'll choose Chelsea. So he'll wait for the structure to be agreed and everything. So, and he talked and he spoke positively about the club. So clearly, he's already said he's willing to join. So there's not much of a chance for Liverpool at this point, because it has to do the structure of the bid and the structure of the payment. And right after that, here we go from Fabrizio Romano, medical, holding up the shirt unveiled. That seems like the situation or the direction it will go in. But it depends on what happens. It doesn't mean that it can't happen, because crazier things have happened in football. But at this point, it looks as if Caicedo will join Chelsea in due course after such agreement can be made.
Yeah, and you could argue if there's any chance that that would end up not signing him, I think would have put out of the deal by now. It's as simple as that. I think everything has been positive. His comments publicly, and the reports also point. The reports point to the fact that I think he's going to end up joining us. That's, again, let me just end it with this disclaimer. It's just my opinion and my interpretation of all the reports I've seen after analysis and beyond. Caicedo deal is taking too long. I hope no one will come in and hijack him from Chelsea. I don't think so. You could argue Arsenal had to pull out of the deal because they sense that, Chelsea will be his most likely destination. Same as Bayern. Bayern, in their case, they said he wants to remain in the Premier League and all that. But let's see. We need to be fast with Caicedo. If Liverpool hijack him, I don't want him to go to Liverpool. Nobody wants that to happen. But I don't think he goes to Liverpool. Should travel, but have limited minutes. Gusto and Chalobah. Okay, that's with regards to that recent report. The concerns there. The Beautiful Game says, Coach, I am moving my stocks from Reece James. Tell me when the last time he played a full season. I agree, and I'm well acquainted with that. For 3 years now or so, he hasn't played a full season without him getting injured or that. But I think that's not, I'm not giving up on him yet. I think we can actually find a way to manage his fitness, and that will go a long way. He wouldn't be the first, if that makes sense. But I get your concern. It's a legitimate concern, honestly. Atiba Simons, hello, presenter, please. How is the issue of Dybala's deal? And is there any talk about goalkeeping departments as long as a transfer is concerned? Thank you so much. That's Atiba Simon. What's the first name? Dybala is saying openly he's not coming to Chelsea. He's happy at Roma. But that doesn't mean, we're not looking at him. But do I know whether we're looking to sign him? I honestly do not know. But we'll find out by the time the transfer window starts. In terms of goalkeeper, rumors are that we're seriously considering, we're pushing to sign Diogo Costa, the FC Porto goalkeeper and Portuguese international. Maybe that will happen. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 12 more to get it to 100. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes. Let's make it happen. I'm not even bothered. The player has openly said he has said yes to us. So if the player wants to go to Liverpool, then fine, let him go. But I don't think that's the case. But people, they have reasons to be concerned because, it's taken long. But to me, in my opinion, it hasn't actually, not as long as the case of Havertz or even Enzo Fernandez. But let's see what happens. Not as long at this point. It hasn't. You can say it cannot measure the length of time it took us to get the deal of Enzo Fernandez over the line. Coachila, you're right about these journalists linking Caicedo to Liverpool because 95% hate Chelsea, but we shouldn't take things for granted. I agree wholeheartedly with that comment there. Even though I strongly believe that there's no, you could say, the rumors are just nonsense. But at the same time, we shouldn't let our guards down. We shouldn't take it for granted because, he said openly that he wants to join us and he wants to come to us. And the fact that we've agreed personal terms with him, I think it'd be a huge risk to do that. We should keep pushing and get it over the line as soon as we can. People shouldn't be too worried about losing out on a player. New talents will break through and we will be fine. And I'm not into us signing any player that doesn't want to come to us. It has led on occasions where we've tried to sign players that have, again, that you could say that prefer joining other clubs. They've all ended in an embarrassing manner that I don't want to talk about. To name a few, our pursuit of was the former Leeds United player, and there are others too. But we move on from that. Havertz right now is not my cup of tea. Caicedo is coming to Chelsea one way or another. Just a sequel, I like that spirit there. Let's see what else we have here. If other teams enter the race for Caicedo, Chelsea will be forced to even pay more to get him. Penny-wise, pound foolish, but I don't think that happens. Even though you sounded optimistic a few seconds ago, you're changing your tone within seconds just like this, which means deep down you're concerned. And like I said, I do understand where those concerns are coming from. But I think Caicedo will become a Chelsea player eventually, in a matter of days. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 19 likes, 10 more to get it to 100, and then we'll shoot for 200. Let's make it happen, people. Hey, coach, we just hope and I pray that this Caicedo deal goes through. I think it will. I think we'll get it over the line. How serious is Chelsea working on Cherki's deal? If we buy him, we're going to win the league. I think you said that yesterday also. Here's the thing, I'm not too sure. We're just following the reports out there. I think the one I believe...
a bid is imminent.
Sorry?
A bid is imminent. I can say that.
It's imminent. So we're serious about getting him. And it doesn't...
very serious.
There are other suitors. Are there any?
There are reports coming out now that are backing up that there is a strong interest, and at this point there is a bid imminent. Pulisic exit has facilitated that. There's space for it, and obviously it would have been better if we were able to sell Pulisic to Lyon, because it would have made the deal easier. But they're going to make a bid. If that bid is good enough, that's the case. But there is a bid going to go in. And Chelsea, as usual, as you'd see with reports, are confident that it'll be enough, because they'll make a bid that is logical. They wouldn't want to disrespect Leon, because they do have a good relationship with them. So they will make a bid that they think is reasonable. And if Leon rejects it, then they reject it. But Chelsea will be making a bid very soon. They're going to be working on Caicedo, as Fabrizio Romano said. But at the same time, the fact that the Caicedo deal is in the direction of working out structure, a bid for Cherki is possible very soon. So, yeah, a bid is imminent.
Yeah, and I think we'll end up signing Cherki. He's so good that how much he'd go for isn't even for 60 million euros is not too expensive, given his talent. Such talents are rare, in my opinion. But go ahead, Ty, you were saying something.
Yeah, you can expect a player profile video, which I've already recorded, and
just whenever you release it, just let people here know. I think they will enjoy it. We've addressed that one. I am happy with saying he's happy with Sword Havertz. Let's see, right back is one of the most integral and most relied upon positions on the field, coach. James' body is failing him, and us even more importantly. I think we'll find again a way to keep him fit, manage his fitness, so to speak. But let's see what happens. Keep smashing the like button, people. 9 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Let's see. I appreciate you saying that, Martin. Coach, please, we can try other options. It's not up to me. Even again, if it was up to me, I still make sure I get Caicedo. And not stuck with Caicedo. Can Caicedo play right back? I'd say yes. I think I've seen him play in that position for. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ty. I think I've seen him play right back for Brighton. I think he's that versatile.
Yeah, he has played. I'm sure I saw him play as a fullback, and he does have the ability to play right.
Yeah, he's versatile. Right, yeah, go ahead.
Or right mid. Right, what do you call right mid, right wing back ish? Because then again, we can probably expect a back four depending on defenders that we have at our disposal. Right now there's no reports saying that we're looking to sign any defenders. So, and judging by the number of defenders we have, I don't know if we can play a back three. Then again, you do have Ampadu who pushes up the number of centre backs, but I don't know. It depends on how preseason goes and everything. But it looks like we may play a back four, depending on the players we're getting and everything.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, Caicedo can play that. If we don't get Caicedo, we should go for who from Gremio? Who? I haven't. This is the first time I'm seeing that name. Good morning, everyone in the house. A lot of people miss Ole. I know we have a project we're working on, and we haven't touched it for a few days now, but it's not late. We just have to get it done before the preseason ends. But more importantly, good morning to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Crystal Palace have entered the race to sign Matheus França, according to reports from Brazil. And I've seen a report to the effect of us no longer interested in signing him because we don't like the fact that the media leaked our interest in the player. This is just, I'm not too sure whether to believe that or not. But for sure, yeah. Chris, is it Crystal Palace that are interested? What club was that again? Yeah. Then we have another reason to sign Caicedo. Yeah, he's versatile. I think we should sign him. we should sign him. Where has Mitchell Boy disappeared to? His magical praises on the show is truly enchanting. Mitchie is busy. He works too. Plus, he has his own channel, so he's not obliged to be on the panel here, if that makes sense. But if he has time, he's always welcome, and he knows that. Chelsea should not sell Chalobah. The guy is so young and versatile too. He's a very good defender. I agree with you. It is better we loan him than sell him. I'm seeing him as one of the best. His best years are yet to come. His thing is a good defender, and the errors that people have been, you can say, slandering him for, are errors that are very common with players at this age or within his age bracket. So I'm not really worried. But the good thing is that we're not pushing to sell him, and he's not pushing to leave. But the concern is that if the club gets a sizable offer, they will let him go. Let's see. A lot of people, Marcelo says, a report says the scan was just to check Reece James's knee to ascertain his readiness for the preseason. Let's not lose hope yet. I'm not losing hope either. I think Martin O has explained that, but thank you for elaborating there or making it clear that it's nothing or it's not anything that we should be concerned about. If we get Cherki, will he compete with Nkunku in the 10th position, in the 10 role, or with Madrid at right wing?
He will compete at all.
All of them, yeah. The suggest we have them both on the pitch, actually. Since either the two of them can actually, since Nkunku can play on the flanks. Go ahead, Ty, you were saying something.
Yeah, it could be all three. You could have all three of them playing because that's the good thing about Cherki. He's versatile. He doesn't have a weaker foot at this moment. So you can play him on the left, you can play him in the middle, you can play him on the right. And that is one good thing about him. He doesn't need to be he doesn't need the ball on one foot. He's strong. There's a word to describe that, but sometimes I struggle to pronounce it. Ambipedal. Meaning that he's good with both feet. So in terms of that, he's gonna compete with all the attackers we have because it's a competitive game and he's versatile like that. And Nkunku will be competing with players like that as well. So at the end of the day, you can have all three playing at the same time because depending on the formation we're playing and the structure, it is possible.
Yeah, and for those of you who are in the chat, whenever you see me have the thumbnail up here, which means I'm willing to take some of your random contributions in the chat. But once we have a particular item or topic up there on the screen, then we have to stick to that, or I'll skip your comment. I am getting tired of all the speculations on players joining Chelsea. Why can Chelsea adopt Liverpool's strategy and get things done quietly and quickly? Do I think Liverpool have done things quietly and quickly? It depends on the players they've signed. And again,
that is not true.
Yeah, go ahead.
They have not done anything quietly. If you look at all the Liverpool sources on Twitter, you'll see that they reveal that they're going to be doing this, they're going to be doing that. So there's no secretness in everything. If you look, every fan base has people leaking news. So you have Liverpool-based journalists, you have journalists that fixate only on talking about Liverpool transfers or situations surrounding them. So they're not doing quietly. It's just a matter of you don't see it, or you don't see journalists who perhaps do talk about transfers about Chelsea, speak about them, barring Fabrizio Romano, barring David Ornstein, reporters like that or journalists like that. But it's not done quietly. It's just that you don't see it, because if you look on a section of Twitter or whatever social media platform you decide to use, you see
and because our focus is usually Chelsea news.
Yeah. So Liverpool outlets, you have a website out there that says that Liverpool are considering such player and such player. It's all over the media, so it's not quietly done.
Yeah, because we're not Liverpool fans, we don't see it the way they see it. So usually to conclude, they do things quietly and quicker than we do. I don't think that's the case. Chelsea interest for Cherki is confirmed by the Athletic. Good one there. When will they announce the new captain? I'm not too sure. We were told that we'll get an announcement with regards to that before we leave. For the U.S. tour. Despite PYS reporting quickly here, it says Reece James felt pain in his knee and has had a precautionary scan ahead of the U.S. tour. So it's nothing to be worried about, but still it's concerning really, because he's been again injured way too often. Jerry, did you? I have to say I know where that is coming from, and honestly, I've never seen anybody as formal as Jerry asking him if he swallowed the dictionary. Are you in full literary mode for mode, Mr. Journalist? Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. We have great young players, and should give them a go. Casadei, for example, I think they will all get their chance during the preseason tour. Ambidextrous. I hate that pronouncing that word too. Cherki can play anywhere across the front line, which makes him a useful player. Which means you can argue, yeah. Which was why I said you can have them both, him and Nkunku on the pitch at the same time. There is some frustration from the Moises Caicedo camp due to the quite slow-moving talks between Brighton and Chelsea, who still believes a deal can be struck for under 100 million via. I think they should direct their frustration at Brighton and not us. So they're asking too much. And unfortunately for the kid, he has a gentleman's agreement, not with the club. I'm actually doing the tapping on Jackson FC, Brianna Yahayu. The gentleman agreement was with the manager, De Zerbi, and not with the club's hierarchy. It doesn't make any sort of sense. There is some, I think we've read that. Thank you for that update there, Joel Jr. In my English class, okay, that's you're having a conversation with somebody there. So, Coach, I have a feeling that Cherki will break a Grealish record of getting fouled most number of times. Cherki seems to fall down and not complete dribbles more often. That's because if you've seen again, I think that the guy can be physical. That's because again, people actually try to cut his legs. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. But we'll see. I think you're correct, and that may well be the case because he dribbles quite a lot. Let's see what else we have here. I'm happy that the Bluetooth game and Jerry Z are having some fun there. But let's see what else we have. I have my doubts about Cherki. He seems to fall too often and seems to be similar in pace to Giroud. Really? Ty, how are you concerned about Cherki's pace?
No, because that can change. Players can get quicker, and I'd prefer he has little pace and good ball control rather than too much
and every
pace
other important attribute.
Yeah, something that and even though if you've watched consistent games of him, that should not be a problem because he has the physique, he has the creativity, he has the ability. Yes, I get the point of he may not be the quickest player, but that can always change. Players can get quick. It's not like he's very old or he's 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, where at that time your body may start to reduce in speed or whatever. He's not 30 plus. He's in close to 30. He's very young. He's 19, 20 soon. So it's things like that is not to be concerned. Yes, I can get the part about him falling down easily, but it's not about falling down easily. He's able to win penalties he's able to win set pieces or threats that can lead to goal. He has the technical ability and he has the physique. He has the ability to do trickery. He's good at showboating. He has this repertoire that reminds you of a young Hazard. I'm not comparing him to Hazard. I'm not saying he's gonna be impactful like Hazard was, but he has that sort of look.
He has the ability to pull a rabbit out of the heart and help the team win a game.
Simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the point about pace, but right now I prefer him to be slower and have good control than having to learn to control his pace, and because of his pace, he struggles with control. Mudryk, for example, is like that. Mudryk is not a bad player; he's very quick, but pace is not everything. You can be very quick and still be a bad player. Look at Werner, for example. I'm not saying Werner is a bad player, but he wasn't the greatest player for us, despite being the quickest. So therefore, I don't know, but he has other skill sets that I think covers or is enough to cover up for those weaknesses, quote unquote, or things that is not his strengths or things that you know him for, such as space. But at the end of the day, I don't really think that should matter. I think what he offers more is important.
Yeah, just a quick update here from Chelsea Dodgers. Positive talks with Fulham for Callum Hudson-odoi are ongoing. Hopefully, we'll wrap that one up as soon as possible. Good luck to him. He's a player I've always liked. And left for me, if it wasn't for his salary, I'd say let's keep him because he's still very young. And it's not too late for him to, you can say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go continue, sentence. I'm just saying.
I was saying he's still very young. That's just my opinion. But we'll move on from him. Yeah, let's see. I am talking about the way McAllister was acquired by Liverpool. He had a buyer clause in his case, release clause maybe. It didn't take too long. Yeah, because Liverpool triggered that. Let's see what else we have. Caicedo is a CM. Yep, not traditionally a DM, but he can be effective. In terms of the manager can change that. The manager can he can charge him to be more defensively minded. He has that ability, and it doesn't look like we're actually looking at any traditional DM. If you've been paying attention, what are the alternatives? Or Caicedo, take Lavia out. It's difficult. Ismail Banesa, I don't know if it's his release clause is just 50 million euros, and it's not your stereotypical DM. He has more to his game than just a destroyer. But I'm not sure when that release clause will be active. Whether next year, I'm not too sure. And it doesn't look like we're looking at him. There are other options that doesn't. Zubimendi also available, who is more traditionally a DM. But it doesn't look like we're looking at him. We should have bought Chicken McAllister for 35 million instead. Maybe he doesn't fit the profile of the player we're looking for at the time. Welcome back, Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you. Cherki isn't slow. The way he plays makes him seem slow. He's a playmaker. How many playmakers are quick? Okay, I'm not sure how to answer that. McAllister, 1 year too old. Okay, the age range that we're currently looking to sign. Let's see what else we have. Keep dropping likes on the stream, people. Some people think pace is the all in all. Pace is important. It adds to the tool that the player in question has in his locker room, if that makes sense. Liverpool got McAllister and Slobozai in trying to get Lavia. That's a formidable midfield. Chelsea trying to get Caicedo through the door in what seems a lifetime. I think we'll get that deal over the line. And I'm not concerned. I said that 1,000 times, honestly, and I still say it again. I'm seriously not concerned whether we get him or not. He's definitely slower than Hazard and definitely completes less dribbles than Hazard. I have serious concerns because how do you fit such a player in the team with pacey forwards like Nkunku, Nani? To me, that's actually, I wouldn't actually be worried about that. I think he has brings to the table what we don't have right now. Pace is not the solution. Ball sense matters in football intelligence. Yep. Else we would not be complaining about Mudryk and Gallagher. But thank you for that. Yeah, I think he makes sense. That's a delicious comment, actually. I think it's the fans that are pushing for this Cherki deal and not the club. I don't think so. I think the scouting department, they've done their job. It's his opinion. It is his opinion.
I'm saying Lawrence Stewart is pushing for Cherki.
Yeah, okay. He's the one. Lawrence Stewart is the one pushing for us to sign him, right?
Yeah. So, and he's a director of the club, not a fan. He's not a fan of Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Pace is not everything. I agree, especially when we have so many, you can say pacey players already. We need to mix it up a bit. It's Benoit Badiashile back from injury. Not yet. I haven't seen anything like that. McDonald's McAllister was 2.5 times cheaper than Caicedo. What a massive mistake. I wouldn't call it a mistake. Everybody, again, it depends on the manager we have, and the manager they have. Managers, you can say they prefer players of different profiles. They don't have to be the same. Go get Zubimendi and Kiefer Thuram, especially. Those are two good players, but let's see what happens. I personally believe Palinha is a good experience, a proper CDM who can be a backup to Caicedo for him. Could use the money since Mitrovic is looking like he might join, go to Saudi Arabia. But let's see what happens. Mark 10 is in the same position as Caicedo, and you could argue we have no need for a player of his type as at the time. Take the pace away from Mbappe, and he will be bank average. So it depends. Every player has qualities that define who they are as a player. Is Pochettino even pushing for something? Do you have to know? I don't think. I think our biggest problem is that we're not too sure what players the clubs are looking at. We're not even sure whether we're looking at Palinha and some other names that has been mentioned here. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Liverpool now in for Caicedo. They're not yet. They're saying if they sell the two players that are looking like they're going to go to Saudi Arabia, then they consider coming for Caicedo, and that's just a rumor. There's no truth to that at this point. Someone wants someone wants Ivan Toney and Kane. How quick are they?
Good question.
Yeah, exactly. Good question, but they're really good footballers, especially Kane. He's a fine footballer, but pace isn't everything really. Arsenal fans are going hard on Havertz's performance yesterday, and they say Chelsea fans are toxic. I don't care. Let them deal with it. Poch pushing up for just go away. I'm not ready for this because I really do not want to lose my voice.
Why does Coleman said that, Jason?
They say his teeth are not white.
I get that.
Let's see. Cherki is needed though. Not gonna lie, but we're going to buy 6. I'm not sure what to make of that new. Maybe you need to refresh that. Coach, here's a question for panel. Then, why do they see a Cherki in where do they see Cherki in a 4-2-3-1 Poch system of high press? He can play as a 10, and he can actually still play on the flanks. You don't have to be the quickest to play on the flanks, really.
And also though, Leon play 4-2-3-1, so I mean it wouldn't be a formation that he's not accustomed to. So in a sense, like it's not something to say, oh, you're gonna have to be asking him to be doing something that he's not usually known for doing. But he can play in the center, he can, and Nkunku can play on the flanks as well. He can play on the flanks and vice versa. The structure, the formation, and the way the formation is basically how the players are set up on paper or how they start the game. But the structure changes in game. Players can go over wide, players can switch positions, and that's what you use to reduce predictability. You don't have a player staying on the left all the time. They will come centrally at times. You have midfielders who will switch positions. Things like that happen. So it's not like if he joins the club and Pochettino does indeed decide to stick with a 4-2-3-1 as he's known for that, or a hybrid 4-3-3, it's not a case where he's going to be asking too much from Cherki, because Cherki is used to playing a 4-2-3-1 and other formations as well, because Leon have played a back three at times as well. We don't know exactly what Pochettino will decide to use in terms of formation, but it's not a case where he's not adaptable. He is an adaptable player. He can play anywhere you want him to play, because he's not a player that has a preferred foot. He perhaps he does, but he doesn't have a weaker foot. Rather, I should probably
he can use both feet effectively.
Yeah, so he's doesn't have a weaker foot in terms of that. He's effective on the right. He's effective on the left. He's effective in the center. There's not much of a concern about where he can play, because he is adaptable and he is an adjustable player.
Yep, if you're watching, all of you in the chat, Mike and Neum, O'Neill Diaz, Prana Sanda, all of you, please go check out Titus YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let us know when you do. Let's get Ty. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He's getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. We can help him reach there as soon as possible. No one going in for Kone would be a good acquisition. We're not looking at him. I'm not sure what. I think there are more than one Kone actually. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Tone and Kane are strikers. So Cherki is not a striker, but he plays closer to the final third too. So he will have to catch up. I hope that he is not lost in the dust created behind Nkunku's space. I don't think so. I think Cherki will be fine.
Say that Cherki's a very slow player. The way he moves the ball means that he doesn't move the ball quickly, but that doesn't mean that if he needs to accelerate, he can't accelerate. I don't know. Like there's no guarantee that he's a slow player. Yes, Nkunku is very quick, but at the same time, there's something. If you look at the structure and the way that Pochettino has played and what he's made a career of, is that the way that his team moved the ball, it's not slow, but it's calculated. The passes are there. It's 1-2 passes here. You go around players, you make little patterns, triangles, squares, depending on what you want to structurize it as. But it doesn't mean that they're gonna have one running and you see the next is running slowly. People are comparing him to Giroud in terms of pace, but there's no guarantee that he's a very slow player. The way that he's had to play at Lyon, the way he plays, does not mean that his acceleration rate is low or that he cannot speed up when needs be. It's just that when he has the ball at feet, when he's in possession, he moves the ball at a slower pace so that players can either catch up, he can find a teammate, and things can change because we have pacey players. You have Madueke, who is also technically gifted but still a bit raw. So you do have players that can facilitate that, even if that is the case. But that doesn't mean that he's very slow. And you don't need pace. There's a lot of players who are a lot of attacking midfielders, wingers, forwards, depending on what you want to call them, that are slow in terms of pace and still effective. Harry Kane may be a striker, he may not be a striker, but they both play closer to the final third. The objective is still to create and score goals when needs be. So at the end of the day, you can't say that one is a striker and one isn't, because you have players who are quick. And Nkunku is not directly a striker, but he is quick, and he can play as a 9, but that is not his role completely. That doesn't mean that you can't compare Harry Kane and Nkunku's pace. The logic there is valid, but at the same time, I don't think it has to be a case of he's slow or his pace is not at the same level as Nkunku, so he's going to be left behind.
Yeah, thank you, Ty. Neum, I think we've talked about that. Fabrizio Romano has reported that, yeah, we're still looking at all the midfielders, but we have to wait to see how preseason goes before deciding what profile of midfielders will be looking to sign. All right, I'm not saying Cherki is a bad player. He's definitely good, but I'm still not convinced because of the number of times he seems to fall down in his pace. Okay, yeah, it's a legit concern for somebody. You're taking your time to look at him. Forget Caicedo, sign Cherki, Vlahovic, and Dybala for the price of Caicedo. And then forget signing any sort of one attacking midfielder, no deep line midfielder there. All I ask for the board doesn't buy young players based on a financial sense. I hope they ask Pochettino to make a final call as he is supposed to make that team work as a close unit, working dynamically. But rest assured that they're working together. I don't see a situation where the board or the directors will go out and buy a player without consulting with Pochettino. They'd ask him and say, okay, what do you make of this player? And then they decide together whether to go for a player or not. Lyon have played a 4-2-3-1 with Cherki as right wing, a 4-3-3 with Cherki as left wing, a 3-4-1-2 with Cherki as cam. He has shown his diversity in different positions, which means he's a very versatile player, and I like that. I think I'm not concerned whether he has a place in the team or not. I've said that he's capable of playing across the front line there. We have too many pacey forwards. Madrid, Stalin, Modric, and Kunku, Jackson, and Broya. Enough with pace. Let's go with something different. And Cherki, he brings that to the table for us. And Jabulani and Zumalo, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Let's get Caicedo signed by all means possible. And at all costs, for that, let's sign both Cherki and Lavia. We need a lethal attacking mobile, defensive and creative, potent Chelsea midfield. I agree, but let's see what the club does. Every world-class player in any sport has some arrogance. It's part of being, it takes arrogance to some extent to be world-class, really. If we're being truthful here, because belief in your ability is, again, to some extent becomes arrogance, and a good measure of it is good. My friend, I said slow. Okay, you're having a conversation with somebody. I'm going to move on from that one. I love Cherki. He's a very experienced for his age, a perfect fit for us, and he's played quite a lot of games. The Prince is here. Big up to you, the Prince. I hope you're doing well. Cherki is a very good player, and the good thing is that we're looking at him. And like Ty said, a beat is imminent, and I want to see that happen. We need one or two more signings. That's all. Let's see what else we have here. Grealish falls over 100 times per match and isn't pacey. Sure, some would still want him. So let's see. What's Jesse say here? I said slow because judging by his clips, he's not able to bust into spaces created in front of him due to dribbling. He moves on slowly, and defenders always seem to catch up with him. Okay, but the good thing there from clips. Let's see, watch him play 90 minutes, or maybe you can always find that. Maybe that will give you a better understanding of how he operates on the pitch. But that's we need one or two more signings. That's all. Okay, thank you for that. Grealish, I've read that one too. Let's see what else we have here. Diaz has something there. Okay, Diaz is responding to somebody. Thank you for 110 likes. Let's now try and get it to 200 likes. We can make that happen. Since Eden left Chelsea, we've been unable to replace him. I think Cherki is a very good player to replace Hazard. We seriously need his quality and hope he performs to your expectation. Okay, we hope that happens. Big up to you, Temi Dio. Big up all respected members. Greetings, Coach. Greetings to you too, brother. Chelsea Sessions, please tell me your name. His name is Ty. Ty, T-Y. But you can pronounce it as T-I-E. That's just me. But that's, by the way, Roger. Hola, gracias, bonjour. I hope you're doing well, Roger. Welcome to the panel. Big up to you. Do you anywhere you want to comment, or let's continue? Then you join us. We can when we start addressing the next item. Or did you hear anything you want to address?
Hola, gentlemen.
He still speaks Spanish. After everything I thought I've spoken it all, but go ahead.
Never, Trevor. No. Listen. This player Cherki. Listen. I understand JC's concern where he mentions that players
his face.
And defense catch up to him. But yet you need to ask yourself if they catch up to him, and yet he's still able to connect that final pass. Yeah, and able to make that final pass, then what does that tell you? He's very technical. His first touch on both feet are exceptional. He is very ambidextrous in that regard. He's very Eden Hazard-esque, if you will. You can't really tell which foot he favors because he can power and place both shots on both feet. So, and that's rare nowadays, unfortunately. You know, where Eden, he could rifle a shot with his left and his right foot. So can this chap. My only concern is that he's rather, shall we say, flamboyant sometimes with his back heel flicks and so forth. And that usually doesn't go down well in the Premier League. Most defensive players, they'll let you know that that's not appreciated. That's my only concern. They'll hack him down faster than a tall tree in the Amazon. So other than that, his pace or lack thereof doesn't concern me because of his.
That's the least of my concerns. I will take it free of again aspect of his game that I enjoy quite well. But go ahead, Roger. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, because of his final product, either the pass or the shot. Listen, tracking back. Don't forget he's 19, as Ty has mentioned. You don't really fully finish your growth spurt until you're 21 for an adult male. So you can also train. You can get specialized trainers to teach him about sprinting. Go running with a parachute, etc. Wind resistance. You can build up and increase your speed with regards to pace, short distance, or even over durability over time. That's not a problem. They have professional coaches that do that for you. I'm not saying he's going to be entering the Olympic 100-meter sprint anytime soon, but if that is an issue, that can be addressed for him to have an acceptable burst and speed. So that's one thing I would add to that.
And more importantly, if you don't mind, just quickly, the more he plays, the more polished he becomes.
Yeah, of course, he's raw a bit. Of course he is. He's 19. I mean, he is not the finished product by any means. Listen, his versatility, I think, is his greatest asset, in my opinion. And he, as I said, he's not 5'7", yet he plays with a rather low center of gravity. So I like him. He does give you flashbacks of Eden. He really does. I have yet to watch a full game. I have the luxury of having the ability to watch any league outside. I may go watch one or two this weekend. So, but I'm not sure how much it will cost. Probably 30, 40 million. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't say I'm infatuated by him, but I'm very intrigued by him. I don't see it being an issue if we do indeed get him, because you look at Mudryk. He's a wonderful player, blessed with incredible speed, yet he has yet been able to harness his speed, be able to control his body, So he's on the other end of the spectrum, if you will. So let's see. Let's see.
But we'll see also again about signing him. Hopefully, we get that one over the line. I wouldn't mind him being part of the first team actually immediately.
Who are you referring to, Cherki?
Yeah, Cherki.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, the sooner the better. Yeah. And plus, now we've lost Pulisic. I believe it's official, isn't it? Yeah, and then in all likelihood, you're going to be losing Ziyech too, and then Pierre-Emerick. I doubt very much they will be on the open day roster when the season starts. So we're going to need a little bit of backup there. We're going to need depth, shall I say.
Yeah.
Not backup, but I'm talking about just depth generally. So listen, I think that there's certain players that do need to go. And the aforementioned, I mentioned, we need to bring people in. Even though we're not in Europe, you still need depth.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree with you. Depth is important. Anything can happen again during the season, and we'll be in serious trouble. Good morning to you too, Agamo. I appreciate you joining. And this is from Chelsea Blue. Morning, coach. Another day, another update of Nothing Discussion FC. You can argue, there isn't too much to talk about, but we do talk a lot about the little we have to talk about, if that makes sense. Get ready for an accelerating a preseason kickoff on July 19th at 12:30 a.m. UK time as we take on Wrexham. Are we in for some pre and post-match analysis from you, coach? The excitement is building. I think that's 4 p.m. my time. I think I'll find a way to make it work. I've looked at it. I can by now schedule that particular show, but I'm waiting a bit to look at things properly. Cherki has our replacement. I personally miss Eden's vibes. I cannot watch a Cherki vibe coming. Cannot watch a Cherki. Cannot wait to watch a Cherki's vibe next season. Okay. Hi to you too, Kibohi. I appreciate you joining. Paulo Dybala, nothing there. If anything, at this point, you can say just all rumors. nothing concrete. And Thiago Silva got the opportunity to ask him if he's coming to Chelsea, and Thiago reported he said no. And Dybala himself did say that he's happy at Roma and not looking to leave. But that doesn't mean he's not going to leave Roma. It's football. Anything can happen. And Paranjapi, nice to see you. Big up. What do you guys think about the Neymar links that came yesterday? I think it's all nonsense still. Nothing different from what we've heard before. And I'm tired of making YouTube shots saying Chelsea to sign Neymar. It's not going to happen. We just cannot.
I hope not.
Chelsea plays like an uncle like him. Cherki plays like an uncle, and you like him. Wow, I'm not sure what to make of that one. Chelsea other is Coachila. My alternative Caicedo. I don't know him. I have to research him really. I wish you could find a way to send me that name so I take time to look at him and see how he plays. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Cherki is 19. Who's best to polish up? No other manager than Mauricio Pochettino. Yep, that's the truth. I think Arsenal in talks of for Bitello. Okay. Eden's replacement finally found. I miss Eden vibes and cannot wait. I think I was able to figure out that was exactly what you wrote. I think pace or whether pace or not, he falls on or not, he isn't what we should be concerned or debate here. The guy is physical and can be deadly with his creativity. So if he falls and gets opponents committed, great. Overall, more importantly, he's a good player, a very intelligent player at that. He will have to fine-tune, but again, mi amigo Roger, this is what I'm trying to explain. He falls because of being caught up in 6 or 7 times out of 10, doesn't complete dribbles in a pass. He seemed to be good near the box. He's still young, 19. Let's see what else we have here. We have our brother Bobby in the house. Bobby, big up to you. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for always finding the time to join us. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're still at the hospital, but we appreciate you always, finding a space to say hello to us. I appreciate you. All we need from him is to create chances and connect well with the front line. His source doesn't come too often, or unsolicited. I can't say. You can say not when again unsolicitedly. Wow! Don't do this to me again. I hate trying to pronounce such words. If you ask me, so we can always capitalize on those hard attackers on him. I think we can benefit from that, if that makes sense. Our attacking third is made of so much raw talent. It's concerning. I agree with you. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think we're getting closer and closer to 14,000 subscribers. We're still at 13,391, and I believe in a few days we get to 14,000 subscribers. But more importantly, the likes do go a long way with that. The subscription, actually. Saying hello to you there, Bobby. Much love to everybody. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate you all. And Bobby says, respect to the panel. My bias for Roger, my brother. You think we don't know? We know. From another mother is unrivaled. I agree with you. We know that. I don't need scientists to figure that out. We need to send our targets quick and go on tour. Come on, you Blues. Let's do that. Ziyech and Aubameyang must go. Definitely. I don't see any outcome where both of them will remain at the club. I don't see that happening. Summer transfer window is really a wait and see transfer window this year. Yeah, a lot will happen. Quite a lot has happened already. A lot more players will leave the club. A DM, Caicedo, Cherki, and a goalkeeper, and we are set. Okay, let's see. Would Eze of Crystal Palace, Ramsey of Aston Villa be considered in the near future, as well as Nick Pope as one of our goalkeepers? Honestly, I do not know. I'm not too sure. You've mentioned some good players there, but I'm not too sure if we're going to look at them in the near future. were loaded to the extent that I'm not sure how many players will be signing. I'm seeing a situation where we'll just be, you can say, getting players back on loan, and then you can say integrating some of them into the first team and not having the need to sign players outside. Not having the need to sign players. We will make do with the players we have out on loan or at you can say our satellite club. I just don't know. Coach, I will try and join you on the panel if I finish my daily treatment in time. Hope to see you, but more importantly, get well soon. Okay. I'm not sure, but let me read up. But I don't see him matured enough. You're talking about Cherki. You don't think it's matured enough. I think we all know that. The hope is that the more he plays, the more polished he becomes. And playing under a manager as Mauricio Pochettino, who's renowned for his ability to help nurture young players, I think he'd become even better under him. That is just my opinion. Let me put that disclaimer out there. I see you with the beanie always. I think you're somewhere called. Who are you talking to? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We are 121 likes. Let's get it to 200 as soon as possible. Do we have the time? I think that could still happen. 121 likes, that's not easy. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you all joining the show. Let me see what message was deleted here. And Jason Pierce, please, if you're listening, do not use more than 3 emojis. If you do that, the machine that is policing the chat will delete your message, and you don't want that to happen. So let's see what other items we have lined up here to talk about before. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And Isaac Nwangi says we have sold out all the experienced players, midfielders, so to speak, without replacing them. Up to now, remaining only 3 weeks. It is scary. Is it just 3 weeks before the transfer window? Before the transfer window shuts?
No, 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yeah, it's still a long way. Coach, who's wearing a beanie? I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not getting what you're saying there. So can somebody explain? Is the sound okay? Are you hearing any static sound, Roger?
A little bit, very vaguely.
Okay, maybe I have to get it off or plug it off the power source. Then maybe that will help, help stop that. So let's see the next item we have lined up there so we can move on. Just give me 1 second here. Be right back with you guys. It's still Moises Caicedo. So this is just nonsense to me. Liverpool will consider joining the race of a Brighton's Moises Caicedo if Jordan Henderson and Fabinho move to Saudi Arabia. So to me, this is just journalists or Twitter journalists, whatever you want to call them. They're just exploiting, you can say, the fact that Liverpool, they will be losing 2 midfielders. And it makes sense to say, yeah, they've joined the race for Moises Caicedo if they lose those 2 players. I think we've talked about that. But Roger, I don't know. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they need to write an essay on the fact that eventually Klopp's going to retire. So they're going to be looking for a new coach also in the next 10, 20 years. Of course. I mean, they state the obvious, don't they? It's like clickbait stuff. Move on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's redonkulous, actually. It's beyond the ridiculous, but redonkulous. They're just exploiting the, you can say, the situation there for clicks. It's as simple as that. Isn't that what it's called on your head, Coach? Well, we call it a hat. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. If you're talking about the cap, some people call it cap. Big love to the brothers and sisters in the chat of the famous CFC Blues. More importantly, Bobby, please get well soon. We appreciate you finding the time to join us, but we want you to recover fully. Jerry says, experience the excitement of the preseason game with live coverage on the Chelsea website, and brace yourself for coaches intervention and reaction and rest of the panelists here. Sure, to bring an extra close of space. And we have some people who promise us, they bring us live pictures during the pregame or warm-up. Hopefully they'll be able to still do that. That'd be very nice. I don't think we will get Caicedo if Liverpool if they come in for him. I'm not concerned. I think we'll still get Caicedo.
Because he wants to come here, coach.
More importantly, yeah.
Yes, that's the main facet of the whole deal, should we say?
And you could argue that's the reason Arsenal pulled out. And again, Caicedo has been very open. Confessing his love for Chelsea and respect for Chelsea. Let me add that to it. I don't think we'll still be wasting our time if we're sensing that there's a chance he goes somewhere else. And I have to be. That's just how I feel. Roger, you know what a beanie is.
Yeah, it's a beanie cap. Yeah, I get it.
All right,
things are called, things are called differently in different parts of the world. So
you have trunk. I think we have trunk. You have boot.
Exactly.
We have trash can. I think you call it something else. I'm not.
We
sure.
call it a weight. Well, yeah. You call it trash. We call it rubbish. If you look, so my wife owned a Triumph Spitfire, 1979 Triumph Spitfire, and in the manual, there's literally the first, I think, 3 to 4 pages are all about how you translate a part of a car from American to English and vice versa. It's quite like accelerator pedal, the gas pedal, things like that. It's Americanisms. That's why I say I speak English and American.
Yeah,
I'm fluent in both.
I know. Can you elaborate? Let us know why you think Liverpool will not pay 100 million. And I don't think he goes for 100 million. But guys, so did Ugarte. Yeah, but if you want to talk about that. 3 weeks or so before the league starts. Okay, that was what you were referencing. Who can guarantee we're going to sign all our targets before then? It's difficult for us to get in all our targets before the league starts. I don't think so. And again, if we sign, even if we're able to get them all in before then, they still be adapting. If that makes sense. I think not matching PSG wages to I think we'll come back to Hartis. I don't think so. I think it was a good thing. We've been known to pay premium for players we want to sign, and that has to stop one way or the other. And it's a good start for walking away from that Ugarte deal. I like what we did there. Honestly, Amo, don't read news attire. I'm waiting to hear breaking news of Caicedo to Chelsea imminent. I hope it happens. I don't wait tired to myself. Google Bini Coach. Okay, I'll do that to learn more about it. Now, Caicedo wanting to come to Chelsea doesn't mean anything. It means a lot, but that doesn't really mean he must come to us. But it makes it difficult for all the clubs who are interested in signing him. But there are other factors you have to consider. We've been the only club talking. You can say discussing with Brighton. We've agreed personal terms with him, and here's the thing. I'm not concerned. If it doesn't happen, then we'll move on to other targets. But be rest assured, I told you we're signing Caicedo. Mudryk wanted Arsenal, and how did it end? But he wasn't vocal. He wasn't as vocal as Caicedo has been with regards to his why he wants to join Chelsea and how he respects Chelsea and all that. Liverpool don't get in beating war. They just go for players with a buyout clause mostly. I think there's a pattern to that, so you're very correct. So I don't see them doing that. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. 125 likes, so I appreciate that. I can guarantee a top 3 finish this season. That's why I am least concerned about our signings or departures. Okay, let's see what else we have here. People failed to realize that Pochettino's arrival is the most significant signing we could have hoped for. To me, let me remix that a bit. Given the fact that we have too many young players, once the season kicks off, our eyes will be treated to an incredible spectacle. Let's see please, can we move on from Caicedo talk? It's not going to make things happen any quicker. It's as simple as that, and people should stop being concerned with whether we sign them. I think we'll get that deal over the line. That's just my opinion. Let's see what else we have lined up here. We've talked about Cherki. No need wasting time on it. I think we've talked about him enough. Chelsea are interested in a move for Lyon winger Rayan Cherki. That's quoting Simon Johnson Sport, the Athletic, also of the Athletic. And also Ty just told us a bid is imminent. I think they want around, was it
50 million euros?
They want 50 million euros, and that's not a bad price for a player of his quality, honestly, if you ask me. I don't know, Ty, you have anything else to say more?
I'm going to always repeat myself. I remember the first time I mentioned this and I said I got hate about it. And you said, am I surprised because I'm not Fabrizio Romano, I'm not David Ornstein? And people still they're still waiting for a David Ornstein dagger, as they call it, or a Fabrizio Romano here with tweet to say that's the case. But I mentioned this back on June 30, and I got a lot of backlash for it because they're saying, "Oh, this is not going to happen." And all type of things. I know you have almost all reputable reporters coming out and saying it. Simon Johnson works with the Athletic, and if I'm not mistaken, David Ornstein works with the Athletic as well. So therefore, you never know. He could come out and say that yes, this is actually the case. There's genuine interest there. But I had said this in the past. But yeah, it's a deal that can be done, and the fact that we have Malo Gusto, somebody that you can relate to in terms of nationality, working together with him,
comfort zone, yeah,
and they've played on the same side as well in terms of right side, left side, in terms of all other players. But Malo Gusto could also be an important player because it wouldn't be a case of he's joined a club and he doesn't know anybody there. Malo Gusto is and plus it adds to the French players that we have because we do have a couple of players that still speak French, and
maybe we should start saying French, our French contingent. Maybe,
yeah.
Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, that's it.
Ty, what's the percentages that we sign him?
Right now I would say 75.
Okay.
Wow. It's looking like it's going to happen. Coach with New Oxford word, redonkulous. Yeah, you're missing an end there. I learned that from my friend back in Jersey. When he thinks something is beyond ridiculous, he says redonkulous. When Liverpool end up selling off Fernandinho, they will buy Caicedo. I don't think they will, for multitude of reasons. But we're not going to go back to that. But Phil, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, Phil. More importantly, Cherki will be a way better planner than Pulisic. Marty, that's your Twitter handle there. Okay, let me just call you Marty or Matty. True, if Liverpool really want a player, they get the player with no force. This Chelsea is so tedious. Let's see. I just told you we will get him. Apparently, Arsenal want him also. I think that one, for me, it's absolute nonsense. I'm not going to believe that. Ryan is 19-year-old. Why pay 50? You pay for what you're getting. The talent is there. And if you don't pay, there are other willing buyers that will pay that amount. We've seen clubs pay even nearly twice as much of a player younger than him. I don't recall how much did Real Madrid pay for that kid we wanted. That they end up signing. It depends on the talent. Again, what you see is what you get. We paid 60 million for Pulisic, who wasn't a first-team player. He was a bench warmer at Dortmund as at the time. Yeah, but it was we paid that much money for Pulisic, not just because he's a good player or that, but beyond that, at the door, or you can say the window to the American market, if that makes sense. Not this Chelsea era, but the Roman era was so smooth. I cannot lie. Now it's like traveling to Africa from the US with a bicycle. Here's the thing, but the Roman era, if you look at signings, lots of mistakes were made. And that's because usually it's all about, again, the new shiny new toy. not whether it fits into the manager's preferred approach to football and all that. But that is just my opinion. His 35 million in pounds, I'm guessing. So not a bad fee. A big up to you to Santiago Muna. I've looked for you in the chat because you helped me answer a lot of questions there, and that does go a long way. Roger, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add to this, or should we move on?
Are you talking about Cherki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can move on. It's I would.
Do you think he's overpriced?
I think every player is overpriced, Coach. I think the market is silly money, monopoly money. You know, as I said, 6-7 years ago when Kante joined for 30 million, I thought that was a joke. Now, you chop your left hand off to get him at that age for that kind of money. Now it's just it's not sustainable, I don't believe. But it's to me now you're looking at a player for a starting team for an top echelon team in the Premier League. You're looking for a good starting quality player between 40 and 60 million now. It's just that simple. On the average, obviously they go for a lot more, and depending on the position, it's obscene.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, is he worth it? By today's market, what the market brings, demand and supply, yes, he is. But personally, I don't think any player is worth this kind of money. I just find it obscene. But yes, based on what the market bears, yes, he's worth it.
And inflation doesn't help. Yeah. Coach, the captain in the preseason games will surely be the captain for the season. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. But it depends. Let's say let's say if we start a second 11 where you don't have Reece James on the pitch, you don't have Kepa on the pitch, you don't have Thiago Silva on the pitch, then I wouldn't trust that anybody who captains the team will be the captain going into the season. That's just my opinion. But let's see what happens. Let's see. Taking too much. Taking too much to make deals doesn't mean you're not going to make any mistakes. But then the lesson they can. If you take your time, the chances of making a mistake becomes less. But if you're in a hurry, the chances of making a mistake increases, if that makes sense. The contrary, football is a lucky game, but sometimes you have to take measures not to make mistakes, which is not to be in a rush to sign players for the sake of it. But that's, by the way, and my bro, today finds time to say hello in the chat. Big up to you at the panel and chat. Always nice to see you, Almighty Blues FC. My brother from another mother. I appreciate you. If you haven't, all of you in the chat from Chelsea all the way, Code Web, Linfield, all of you, if you haven't, please go check out my bro's channel and be sure to subscribe. Excellent content creator. I appreciate you if you do that. Let's see what we have here. Big of Santiago. Just people saying exchanging pleasantries. I think Chelsea should just announce the captain. Why everything is taking so long?
Why does it have to be? Why does the narrative have to be underbowling? Like what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
is Boy the manager?
Yeah, and I agree here with Ankit here saying I think Thiago Silva captains whenever he's placed. Yep. Where again the question now will be who will be the vice captain. I think it wouldn't make sense to look beyond Thiago Silva to pick the captain. I think as long as he is here, he should lead the team as the captain. And again, the question is who will be the vice captain. Else, I reckon Kepa. Not that I want it, but that's more likely. He has good leadership. He's shown that he can lead. But let's see. And
he always demands his box.
Sorry.
He always demands his box.
Yeah. And for me, I'd rather we go for an outfield player. That is just my opinion. But Pochettino, he's gone with a goalkeeper before. Maybe he'd do that again at Chelsea. I don't know. I think it would be a Thiago Silva too. James is injured. No, he's not. I think he's fine. It's just what we've heard. We're just being cautious not to overstretch things, and he ends up getting injured. Go ahead, Ty. You were saying something.
He felt pain in his knee, so it was just a precaution.
Yeah, we don't just want to risk too much. Let's see what else we have here. So Silva remains a club captain, basically. I think he will. The question is who's going to be his vice captain. Let's see what else we have here. Cowell will be. I know you like calling him that. Captain Cowell. Reece will get there in a couple of years, and Enzo may have communications issues with the language. So yeah, that pinpoints the problem with the possibility of Enzo becoming the captain. Communication is a problem. And I've seen people say, why not Enzo and all that, but they're not thinking beyond. You can say, yeah, he leads by example. But communication is key to one becoming a captain. And at this point, no, it will be problematic to appoint him the captain. At times, the more time you take to do something, the more mistakes you make. But in this case, it's the sort of things you need to take time to do. You need to research scout the player. You need to look at the player. You need to make sure that the player will fit into the manager's preferred approach to football. You need to, more importantly, not to overpay. That's it. And in our case, we need not to show that we're desperate, because the truth remains we're desperate for players, if that makes sense. But sometimes when you can say, yeah, I get it. Sometimes you just need to follow your instinct. But in this case, no, you don't do that. If that makes sense. I get your point. Ty, go ahead.
Chelsea are the opposite. The Chelsea are so unique. Like Chelsea always says, the more time you take, you make the mistake. But with Chelsea, the quicker they make the decision, the more they make the mistake.
Yeah. But let's hear Roger. Let's hear an OG like Roger tell us. Roger, what do you think?
About what, gentlemen? I don't quite get it.
About the argument, his argued that we're taking too much time. And I'm saying we just need to be careful. We don't need to sign players in a hurry.
I think we're being...
I think do you see his comment on the screen?
Yes, I do. I think we're being judicious. We're being deliberate. We're I don't know. I think we're being far more cautious than we have been in the previous windows, and rightfully so. Don't forget, this is how it should work theoretically. Mm-hmm. You have your head coach / manager strategize with the technical director, Christopher Vivell, mm-hmm. about what type of profile of player they're looking for and what type of football they're looking to achieve. And then accordingly, the co-sporting directors, Stewart and Winstanley, will then go ahead based on what the manager and technical director have debriefed them on, will go ahead and identify players with that profile. And then they will jointly decide on whom to go after or whom to sell also. I mean, for players that are already with the club, based on the fact this is a new manager, and so this is how they identify. It's very much a collaboration, shall we say, for all parties involved. And this is the structure that many of us have been wishing for many a moon. Now we have it in place. And when you compare the actual first window, the last summer of 22-23, where it was very much a scattergun approach. And there were reasons for that also, don't forget, because of...
But it led to too many mistakes.
Yeah, because of the exodus of certain players like Rudiger, Christensen, etc. We had to use that scattergun approach. Mm-hmm. There was no technical directors there. There were no co-sporting directors. But since then, you have seen in the January window a very judicious and strategic approach to players, especially with youth. It's very impressive when you look at the people they brought in: Fofana, Badiashile, Santos, mm-hmm. Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, Gusto, Fernandez, Enzo, and then you look at the 14 the 14 players that have been released this summer, that have left, shall we say, that they've either had their loans returned or their contract not renewed, or we've sold them, or they've been loaned out. That's impressive in a very small amount of time. And they've mm-hmm. done it, and they haven't done it at reduced prices per se. They've actually exceeded my expectations for the amount of money that would have transpired. And they brought in only a couple of players so far. I mean, technically, Nkunku was like last century, and then Nicholas Jackson. So they've been very judicious, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Listen, we're so impatient, based on the fact that we live in a very high tech environment. We want everything yesterday. It's better to take your time. Whenever you're conducting business in any business sector, you must do your homework. You must do be cautious, and I think it behooves us to do that. And we seem to be doing that. And we're not anyone's fools anymore. And I like that,
Yeah.
Long gone are the days we're going to pay 62 million for Cucurella from Brighton.
It would never happen again.
No. And so we're being, I think other teams around, shall we say UEFA or around the world, however you want to term it, are probably realizing that there's a different strategy involved anymore. And we're not going to acquiesce as easily as we have historically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much, Roger. That is a delicious response, actually. And I knew you were going to be helpful there. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. This one says Ben Chilwell is also pushing himself in spotlight, captain. That's a serious campaign. Roger, are you sensing the politics within the dressing room?
Let's.
I read that and I was, wow, this has gone political. And it will go ahead.
I think there's only one natural captain in this whole squad right now. And I think no one will have an issue with Silva being captain. I think not because of his age. I don't mean it in that regard. That sounds rather disrespectful. I mean because of his gravitas, what he brings on and obviously off the pitch. He is very much admired and respected around the world as a compassionate, an integral person, someone with integrity. And I think no one comes even close to. You
can say he meets all the requirements that Mauricio Pochettino talked about. That he likes the qualities he likes to in his captain. But go ahead.
And then some. I guarantee you, there's not probably a player in that squad, probably in the women's team, in the youth team, in the B team, that will not have a problem approaching him and asking him for advice, whether it be personal advice or fitness advice, whatever the category. He's very approachable. He's very charismatic. He's an honest person. You can tell he's just a wonderful person. He is the consummate professional, and I think more importantly, he's a wonderful human being. You can be the best at your job, but what it boils down to is what kind of person or what kind of heart you have. Do you have integrity? Do you have morals and ethics? And I think we can safely assume he has
the
all of those in abundance.
The pedigree.
Yes.
But go ahead. Sorry.
He has everything, Coach. I don't even think this is a discussion. It'll be the equivalent of me going in the ring when Mike Tyson was 21. I don't think there's a person. I don't think there's a person on the planet would give me more than 4 seconds to trip over and a knockout count.
You might well knock him down. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. And then I wake up. No, do you understand? It's just
but very well put. Yeah,
I think he's the front runner by a mile. I don't think it's even, and that's no disrespect to anyone else, like a James or a Kepa or whomever. That is not a reflection on them. It's just more of a reflection on him. Because he's been doing it for so long, for such his career is incredible. And to do that at such a high level and an elite level, with that integrity, I think it's end of discussion. It's checkmate.
Yeah, very correct. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes don't go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all. We are 138 likes. Let's get it to 200 if possible, but let's shoot for 150 first. I appreciate you all, Ben Chilwell. Yeah, it's become politics. It's not fair to make Ainz a captain. I don't think the club will risk that. He will divide the dressing room. Reece James will not be happy, except if they conduct, you can say, a vote or something. Or he just came yesterday and he cannot even communicate properly. Even if he can, it would be a risk. When you feel pain on your knee, it's injury. If you have to if you play the game before, you will understand. Yeah, I think I
It could be a
understand.
fluke. It could be a fluke. It could be cramp. It could be a slight stretch of a muscle or a ligament. You don't know. But I'll be honest with you, Coach. When I first heard of this morning, I'm concerned.
I'm concerned too.
Because
but he's still young. That's
no,
that's the only thing that gives me hope.
That's true. And you know what? If there is an issue where he has to miss a certain portion of the beginning of the season, I think we should seriously consider looking at playing him in the middle of the park.
I think we should, where he does less, runs less, and and he's played there before. He played there for Wigan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
was it Wigan?
Yeah, Wigan.
Yeah,
I believe
he
we
did
need to
well.
address.
Actually, I think so.
We need to address the fitness issues that we've had over the last 18, 24 months with this team. It's abnormally high. It's disconcerting.
Yeah, it is indeed. We'll get to that in a bit. Let me just catch up on what we have in the chat. It's a serious issue. I think I've addressed that one. Let me try and get to the bottom as quickly as possible. Just need to be able to host a FIFA stream and online gaming to be a captain of this team. Oh my goodness! Why did Winstanley negotiate the Caicedo transfer for so long? Hurry up with face-to-face negotiations instead of negotiating over the phone, or something like that. There's a chance they've been meeting face-to-face, but we don't know. But I'm not concerned. I think we get that deal across the line. If we're done, I'll be surprised. I don't want to go to the extent of saying if we're done, I'll do a giveaway, but let's see what happens. True, you need to show you are desperate to get a player, but end up paying them more if other teams are coming. In that case, in the case of Caicedo, no other team is interested at this point. We have to be honest. Roger, with Silva, the hurdle for captaincy is that he might not play regularly this season. That's where you have vice captain. When he stops playing, vice captain comes in and
actually, you have vice captains plural. You'll have a James or a Kepa. So
multiple individuals are waiting on the line in case if the other person isn't playing.
Look at Henderson. Look at Henderson for Liverpool. He barely makes it into the stadium, let alone play, and yet he's been the team captain for. But I get your point though. That it's a valid call. But in this case, I think it's more to do off the field, especially with this team. This team is averaging 24.1 years of age with the 32 players we have. That includes Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Hakim Ziyech, Silva, players that won't believe. This team is going to be under 24 years of age, the median average age for 32 players. That's incredibly youthful. So it's imperative that you have a captain off the field, on the training ground. They see how he trains. They see how he conducts himself in public or behind the scenes, a level of maturity with which they have not arrived at yet, based on the fact that, let's be honest, boys will be boys. And when you're between 18 and 24, we're not exactly renowned for our maturity in this side of the species. So
quite a lot to learn.
And you need someone to lead by example off the field, just as importantly as on the field. So I don't think him playing as much is that issue. Now, if this team is a very aged team where there are quite a lot of veterans spread throughout the whole field, then I'd say yes, that could be a factor, but that is not the case.
Yeah, and just as a point of reference, if you're concerned to how many games Silva will be playing, for instance, before he left, Cesar Spilicueta was our captain, and even if he hasn't played for 30 games, whenever he comes onto the pitch, the armband is his. It's as simple as that.
Regardless.
I'm not too concerned with regards to how many games he gets to play. Coach, I know you don't want to name too much. Not too much. I don't want him at all, and I've explained Ryan Winters because of character issues. But did you hear? We've been speaking to his camp for a week. I can't change that. If you listened when I talked about him, I said if we sign him, I will support him. And honestly, that's who I am. But I'm just saying, I still don't think we'll be signing him. I still don't believe the news that we're talking to his camp. Honestly,
it's
a signing. Also,
remote.
he will be out for 8 months. So why sign him?
No,
I just don't know.
So, coach, it would have been 8 months from the time with which he was. So believe it's January or early February where he's eligible to come back and play. But I get what you're saying. It's a remote chance. And guess what, coach? We'll soon find out by, let's say, Christmas break, if Jackson or Broja are not panning out, then we may look for other options. But if they are, and we are clicking on all cylinders, so to speak, then it's a moot point. It's the end of this conversation doesn't even take place because he's surplus to requirements. We won't even go after him. So,
yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. The reason why the buy-in is slow is only because of our outgoing sales. As it stands, we still have over 30 first-team players, so that's a 32. Huge issue.
We have 32, coach.
Yeah, 32. So we're still looking to sign, if that makes sense. Roger he has a Twitter. So I did share the link. Did I skip it? Here's the link to Roger's Twitter account. Please go follow him. Fortunately, we've been working. We talked about getting his credentials. The day I asked him that question, I don't know what he thought I was asking. Just the way
I remember now. I remember. Yeah.
How to represent him in the description section, because it's totally fair that I do that. It's pro bono, and he's always been one of the biggest supporters of this channel. But go follow him. We'll figure that out. And I will always have its information in the chat. Go ahead, Roger.
I was like, do you want my credit score? What do you mean?
I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, my goodness. The reason why the buy-in is slow is only because of outgoings. As it stands, we still have. Yeah, I think I've read that one. Please go follow Roger. Coach, anybody who blames Boli doesn't know anything. When he was in charge, he was overspending. People complained, and now that he's let the board do their job. So it's a problem. Yeah. Let me be Roger for 10 seconds or for 3 seconds. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Wise words. We
have 1.4 million weekly salaries on players that are not part of next season. That needs to go. Ziyech part of that. Good day, everybody. Good day to you too, Agile. To catch, nice to see you. If you are the only one wanting a particular stuff, there's 95% chance you can get it in a reduced price. It depends. It depends on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a seller that knows that if they're a bit reluctant, that another actually buyer will come, then they're not going to be in a hurry to sell that product to you. Good day to you too, Supreme Quas. I hope you're doing well. Roger in the ring with a 21-year-old air devouring Mike Tyson. I would pay good money to see that fight.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah,
what about my medical insurance?
Thank you for jumping in my show, Coach. Wish I was able to come on, but there's something again we need to talk about. Something we can do to help your channel grow too. But you can say you will communicate via Twitter DM. But more importantly, thank you for always being here. And if you haven't, people, go check out Mitchie Boy's YouTube channel. And be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Let's see what else we have here. Big up Mitchie. Everybody loves you. Silva may end up playing more games than Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Look at their medical record. I think you can argue that. The busy lateness is greatness. Yep, I agree with you. Plus, we still have a few minutes before we go. Only Silva can be captain. We should use this season to find out who can take over from him. I want James to be the guy, but that's just my opinion. But was it Ty that explained that he may well end up being Kepa Areizabalaga? Was it Ty? I think it was Ty. Hello, Mitchie boy. Everybody saying hello to you. That I'm so jealous now, Coach. Honestly, I feel Brighton are waiting for all the teams. No, I think it's the negotiations. For all the teams, but whatever groundwork we did with Caicedo, he's set on Chelsea. We have the up card. Then the next few minutes now, you're coming with some comments that will show that you're deeply concerned that we're going to lose him to Liverpool or something. Oh, Thomas Bay, it's nice to see you. With all these young guys getting injured, Silva will play more than them. And that is his, you can say, reinforcing JC's argument. Peace and blessings, metaphors on peace and blessings to you. Heights, and may your greatest wishes come through. I pray for you. Are we thinking of transferring Roger to another channel? No, not yet. But if he starts behaving that he becomes toxic, we'll try to look for buying channels. Maybe. Sorry, but Roger is on a lifetime contract here, I think. Did not catch up. How many first team players do we have left? They said you said 32, right, Roger? Not first team players. We still have 32 in the squad overall. Did you say 32, Roger? Are you there? All right, I'm going to move on. Roger looks like he's taking care of something there.
I'm sorry, I muted inadvertently. No, we have 32 players in the first team squad currently. Now
so we still need to cut it down.
Yeah, and I think I've went through the team, and there's between 8 and 11 that will either be sold or put out on loan. So that will put you down to approximately 22 to 24 with 2 or 3 additions. You're looking at 25, 26 players for the squad come the season start, theoretically.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Tone was banned from football in England. What if he traveled out to train with other teams? I think I heard they're working to extend that to FIFA. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that, Michi. And Chelsea should hire Silva's a personal juju man. Maybe that will go a long way. He hardly gets injured, even though he's not 19 anymore. Please go check out Titus YouTube channel if you haven't. We've talked about that before, but anytime I say the channel, I have to talk about it because he deserves to have 1,000 subscribers. He's getting very close to 1K subscribers. If you haven't, please go check it out and be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get there as soon as possible. How does the negotiations with Brighton for Caicedo affect all the deals we needed to make these? It doesn't make sense. I think it was Fabrizio that said something to the effect of, be rest assured, we are working behind the scenes very hard. We're not just focused on Caicedo alone, but Caicedo is the one we know. That's just that. Roger may misbehave, but he surely wouldn't poison everyone from the canteen. A demotion to canteen would be better than playing 11 for Roger. Oh my gosh. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Roger, thanks for that update. There, just us on an exciting journey at Chelsea Perspective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and our blog, chelseaperspective.com. And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Shame on you if you haven't checked out our blog, really. If you're a member of this community, you should check out the Chelsea Perspective blog. And I think Jerry Z, most likely, maybe tomorrow will release a new article today or tomorrow at most. The article is ready. Just a process that he likes. He likes to go through a process before he gets it out there. But that would be the third one from him. All delicious. The 2 that he's released, very delicious, and you should check them out. But thank you for saying that. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram also. On TikTok, I think we're closing into 8,000 followers on TikTok. On Instagram, it's just 1,150 or so. Stay tuned for an upcoming article exploring the evolution of football tactics and the brilliance of Pochettino. Pochettino's iconic 4-2-3-1 formation. You wouldn't want to miss that. I think you should go check out chelseaperspective.com. Believe me, you will not regret it. And I'm not going to say that enough. Coach, did you miss the 20 membership by? I know who did that. They instructed me not to say. I'm just going to go. But thanks again. I've seen that. Even the other day too, during the evening show. So yeah, thanks. I know the person, but I'm not going to say who that is. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Also, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That also does go a long way. We're closing into again. We're going to get to 14,000 subscribers as soon as possible. But thank you so much for everybody that have, one way or the other, supported the channel. We have 145 likes. Let's get it to 150 and shoot for 200. I think we still have a bit of time to go before we round off. Maybe we can get it there. 93 people watching and 145 likes. That's not easy. I appreciate you all. Let's see what else we have lined up to discuss here. Sorry, Coach, I don't have Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or blog. And you had to add blog to that list. I'm sure you know what you're doing there. Let's see what else we have lined up here. AD just went out. I was going to come to him to ask him a question. Maybe something came up that he had to go. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Let's get to it, and then let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Okay, this is just the Brighton admin misbehaving here. Just let me read it there for context. It says, when will the Brighton admin players and fans understand Levi is not coming back? So this is Adam Lallana. I think that's his first name, Adam, right? Saying, we are waiting for you with the size and everything. I think they're trying to tap him up. And I've seen the Twitter admin said something similar to Roger. What do you make of that?
What's this, sir?
For instance, this is Adam Lallana saying, we are waiting for you, bro. He said to Levi Cole. And I've seen the Brighton admin say something similar to, should they be doing that? Because they're well aware that the season is over and he's no longer on loan there. He's back at Chelsea. So why are they doing this?
I think this is common in the game in all leagues. I think these players that are on loan, they build a relationship when they're on loan. And just like we use, for instance, Silva to, shall we say, not poach, but shall we say, build a rapport with certain players like from Brazil. And I think all teams do this. I think it's above board, you know, where when you build a relationship with a player, you just say, hey, you know what, we miss you. You know, have you considered coming back to us or whatever? You know, whether it's very subtle or very blatant. I think this is just normal. This is part of the course, I guess. So I wouldn't read too much into this. I think it's much to do about nothing. I think this is natural. I think it goes on all the time. Probably there could be some strong-armed persuasion going on in some regards, and it could just be subtle and innocent. So who knows? It's only natural for if you play for a team and you become friends with someone, and that, by the way, that friend is also a bloody good player, you would want them to return to make you better.
But to the extent of the admin, they call the term used for those handling their social media posts is saying something similar to.
You know, this is how the youth, you know, communicate now. It's all online, a lot of it. You know, when I was their age, there was no internet. There was no... We barely had an industrial revolution, I dare say. No, but seriously, it's... you know, this is how the youth communicate. They're very much online. They have a presence, a social media presence, and this is the norm. So it's much to do about nothing, in my opinion.
Right. I hope that's the case, but I wanted to get to the extent that it causes friction between the two clubs. Just checking around. Okay. As long as you're having fun doing that. Ty, were you saying something? Go ahead.
No, that was me. I just said it could, but I doubt it. I think it's all above board. You don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I wouldn't read too much into it.
Right. Since if we have 32 players left at 8 points, 8 going on loan, Lukaku, Ziyech, Chalobah and Gallagher leave. We are left with 18. Keep Gallagher in, Chalobah, and we have 20. So we need 5 or 6 more signings.
No, it's not that many. I don't know what you're getting your math from. If you have 32 and we let go between 8 and 11, so you're looking at between 21 and 24 players, then you're going to add between 2 and 4 players if you want to keep around 25 to 26. So it's that's the math involved there. Assuming that players leave. There could be some surprises that there are some players that stay, or we just simply can't move them on for whatever reason, or can't terminate them. But I think we've what now? There's been 14 players that have left the first team squad, which is incredibly a large amount, and I think there's going to be a further 8 to 11 players that will be leaving also. So this is a huge overhaul.
It is indeed. Just quickly, Roger, how many players do you think was signed?
Extra, more, probably between 2 and 4.
Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, I think we need to sign again a lot of players, in my opinion. If we're gonna
midfield,
midfield
specifically,
yeah, midfield area especially. Yeah, Brighton promised him a captain if he returned. Captain Cole, Chelsea all the way. Matt wasn't his strongest subject.
That's funny.
We all make mistakes. But let's see. But his business again. But the numbers, you can say if you look at his calculation, it makes sense from a perspective. But Roger had to come in and say, okay, look at how that was wrong. But let's see what else we have lined up here Right, Matthias of France representatives have visited London in recent days to study proposals from both Chelsea and Crystal Palace. A final decision is expected in the coming days. And I saw a different report saying we pulling out of that particular deal because we didn't like the fact that say the construct of the deal was leaked to the media. That's what I remember. Ty is gone. I wanted to ask him if he is acquainted with that particular situation, but he's not here. Is this an update for us? Any exclusive Manchester City have now? Okay. I think it's missing something. Have now signed Benjamin. Okay, they have Benjamin Pavard on top of their list. Nothing about Chelsea there. So I don't know. This is nothing serious there, so I wouldn't waste time on that. So if you have any question, keep dropping it again in the chat there. And if you have any serious, difficult question, please direct it to Roger, towards Roger. I'm not going to help you. Let's see. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We need a Toney next window. No brainer. Okay, that's your opinion. Let's see. And I still don't believe we're looking to sign him. I get it. Some are saying that we're already speaking with this camp, but let's see. It's a risk, a player that will sign that will not be here for 8 months plus. But you're talking about next window. So maybe if the club signs him, I will support him. But I don't think we should go for a player that's so because let me use East, because there's a chance he still does that. There's no report that he's overcome the gambling habit. That's so addicted to gambling that he had to bet against his own team. That's a no-no for me. That's just my opinion. Let's see what else do we have. Anything else lined up here? And if you're in the chat, you have a question, please drop the question in the chat. 152 likes. You people are absolute legends. So I'm waiting to see. Okay, Chelsea are interested. I think we've seen that one too. I'm going to see if I have anything new to talk about. Roger, we talked about Romelu Lukaku. We rejected Inter Milan's latest offer. You have anything to say with regards to that?
Which one's this, sir?
We rejected Inter Milan's latest offer, the last one, one we discussed yesterday.
They increased their offer by, I think, €3 million, was it? Or was it £3 million? I forget. It was pointless even them making that offer. So there has to be a medium ground. I'm not sure how steadfast Chelsea will remain with that £40 million, but I think they're gonna have to get him off their books. They're just gonna have to bite the bullet on it. It's that simple.
How about the fact that there are other clubs interested in signing him and they've offered more? Even if you calculate the Juventus offer for Lukaku, it's nearly I think 10 million more than what Inter are offering. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Do you expect anything different from Inter?
No.
It's they're consistent. At least you can say that. We know what they are. You know that they drive a hard bargain, just like Brighton. And I think we also have to show some backbone and stick to our guns. You know, I don't think we're asking an exorbitant amount. We're not asking for 75 million, something ridiculous. No, we're not. We're asking for 40, which I think is fair. We'll probably come down to 35 million. I would assume so. But they're offering way too little. Let's put it this way: had they owned him currently right now, do you think they would be accepting an offer for what they've given? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't even entertain it. So it's posturing, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But let's see where that one goes. It's not looking good, if you could argue. But like we did talk about how egos have come into play, and that complicates the whole thing. Each party is trying to prove that they have the authority to decide what happens. Coach jumps from 100 likes to 300 as well. He says that all the time. Because the target is 300 likes. So sometimes I may have mistakenly said, let's get it up to 100 and shoot for 300. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's nothing wrong. You do like to shame me in public, don't you? Okay, this says that Chelsea sends James to Nice camp. I think there's something new I saw there that I wanted to read. And before I can open it in my iPad, it disappeared. So I'll check to see if I see it in the window here. I do that. Okay, let's see. Fab, I just tweeted, it's only Chelsea that can sign Caicedo. I'm going to check also to confirm that. Chelsea are in contact to sign Cherki, according to Simon Phillips. So, and Ty did tell us that an initial bid, you can say a bid is imminent. It may end up being the first bid that we get it done. So let me not use the term initial and jinx it for the club. Should Chelsea try going for Mane instead of Dybala? Mane will be too expensive in terms of his salary. Roger, what do you think we should go for Mane? So the questions are coming in now.
You mean Mane from Liverpool?
Sadio Mane, Senegalese international.
Oh yeah, actually he plays for Bayern now, doesn't he? Sorry. I forgot about that. I don't think they fit our profile. Listen, I have immense respect for Mane. He was one of my top 2 or 3 players in the Premier League for the last 7-8 years. I think he's such a gifted player. He's an amazing player, world class. But I think his best days are behind him now. Dybala, I'm a bit apprehensive. Listen, this sounds quite rude. I don't mean it as such, but I'm a little bit wary of players coming from Germany or the Italian league, Serie A. And because they're not proven in the Premier League, they see a lot of them come over and have not succeeded, shall we say, or at least lived up to the expectations, if that makes sense. I look at Sancho. It does in
so many ways.
I look at Sancho from the Bundesliga. I look at Werner. I look at even Kai to a certain extent, even though I don't consider that a failure. But then you look at Pogba. He didn't really reach the heights that everyone expected for Man U. And you know our history with Lukaku, even though he came originally from the Premier League, and there's a plethora of other players. I'm dubious. I really am. Buyer beware. We have a very poor record of signing players, forwards especially number 9s. Our track record is quite horrible, actually. So we need to make sure that if we do splash the cash, it has to be a very high percentage of success rate. Otherwise, don't do it, because it's killed us. I look at Morata. I can just list them. It just goes on forever. It's quite abysmal, our track record, to be honest with you.
With number 9s, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrid. We need to make sure we get it right.
You could argue that's the reason why. Go ahead, what you were saying.
No, if we do go out and get a Dusan Vlahovic, there better be a comprehensive, uniformity. There has to be across the board every executive and coach has to be on board to say, yes, he is going to succeed. There's no doubt. He is our man, and there is no chance of failure, even though that's impossible. But you get my drift. There has to be no ambiguity whatsoever, because we can't afford it. There's that, issue also. Financially, we can't afford to make these mistakes anymore. We can't afford to do another Lukaku deal. We simply can't.
Yeah, I do agree with you. This one here says, should Chelsea try going? Okay, we've read that one. In this report here says, Coach Shane Milan the Winos knee. It sounds like that's what they're doing. Sorry, Roger, I'm sure. I think something like they're playing with us. That's Pidgin English mixed with Yoruba. That is Yoruba. They're playing around, and they're learning the hard way that the owners they don't being milked. They don't want us to be. They're not going to allow them to milk us any further. And I like that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate you all. Let's see what else we have here. We have I am off. Take care, guys. You too take care. I think it's been getting later for you. So go enjoy your night. No players over 23. Bye. You have to say that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. This here says Zakaria has been excluded from the Juve squad as West Ham wanted to sign him to replace Rice, according to Romano. And here Chelsea fans cry if he goes to West Ham and start doing well there. I think it would be in serious trouble, honestly. Moises Caicedo is starting to get frustrated as Chelsea is delaying to sign him, accepting. I think you're misquoting the report. And let me see. I think you're talking about this report here. Just 1 second, not that one. This report here that says there is some frustration from the Moises Caicedo camp at the slow-moving talks between Brighton and Chelsea. If anything, I think he'd be frustrated at Brighton. He's not going to be happy with Brighton because they're the one probably causing the delays, given how much they're asking from the reports we've addressed here in the past few days. What do you make of this report, Roger?
So there's some frustration from the Moises Caicedo camp. Well, I don't know. It's probably the case. He's young, don't forget. He's probably anxious. But I'm pretty sure the people around him should be, shall we say, advising him, saying this is the norm. This is the waiting game. This is what transpires. Listen, I'm sure that, when you're that young, you are impatient, but he just needs to. I see this deal as going through. I'd be very shocked if we start the season and we haven't signed Caicedo. I'd be very shocked. I think I asked Ty about this. 75% is going to get done, right? I pretty much agree with that. I think maybe even higher. I think it's a done deal. I think unless Brighton all of a sudden they backtrack and throw a spanner in the works and put a ridiculous new number in. Other than that, no, I see it getting done. He just needs to be patient. I know, because training starting and so forth, he wants to be at Cobham. He wants to be with Poch and his coaching staff. I get it. It must be a weird sensation to experience that, to know that you're an athlete, a professional athlete, and you want to be with your requested team. I get it. I can understand his impatience, but he just needs to bite down, just train wherever you are, whether that be privately or in the camp of Brighton, whatever the case is. Maintain your regiment and just trust the process.
Just trust the process more importantly. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't think his concern comparing this report and what we'll have on the screen from Chelsea either way. I would say no. I think this simply means again, even if anything, I think Brighton should be at the blame because they're the one delaying things. They're the one asking for more than I believe Chelsea can afford to pay at this point. But we're moving from that. Let's address the final item and then we can call it a day. We're ending early, and that's because there aren't too much stuff to talk. And we've talked so much about the little we have lined up, and it's all good. It's been a good time. There you go. This is just from Fabrizio Romano. I had to open this. This was about 46. Okay, that's not long ago. It's today. Probably he had to do this because of what people have been saying. That some people Chelsea fans getting concerned that there's a chance we'll miss out on him, and Liverpool are now interested in signing Moises Caicedo. So he says that Chelsea remain the only club in talks to sign Moises Caicedo. Also, only club to agree on personal terms with Moises Caicedo at this stage. Negotiations are active and concrete between Chelsea and Brighton. And the other report we addressed earlier today, it says said something to the effect of the only thing left is to agree on the payment structure. So, Roger, it's clear here. We should be that. Like
they're in advanced talks, Coach.
Sorry?
They're in advanced talks, basically. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the deal will get done. I really do. Unless,
if anything happens now, it will be a hijack. If something different happens, but go ahead.
It will be because of Brighton, not because of us, and it certainly won't be because of Caicedo, based on his wishes, what he's stated publicly. The fact that he has only agreed terms with us and has publicly stated he wants to be with us. And when you look at the fact that the most important thing about that is that negotiations are active and concrete between Chelsea and Brighton. So this means that they're in the latter stages, that they're going through the details, like, for instance, probably the payment structure, which means there's been pretty much an amount that have been agreed upon within certain parameters. So just the vaguity of it. So I would say that if they're going into the finer details, that's a good sign that the negotiations are coming along nicely. Listen, the public and even his camp, that we're all impatient. It's just trust the process. I think he comes to us. When do we fly out to America?
In a few days, and when it's a few days, I cannot say specifically.
Sure,
I have to be honest.
It's pretty soon.
Yeah,
within a week or so, and you know, it would be great if he could be on that plane with the team. I think that would. Otherwise, it's a lonely flight on your own, and that would add to him being anxious. But I think it gets done. I really do. So I'm pleased with the fact. As I said, I think yesterday or the day before, I also like Tremaine a lot, because of his, as Bobby would say, physicality, the attributes he brings. But this chap, he's as good as they come. And so I think it's imperative that we sign him. It really is. Our season is... we need him for us to succeed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he has to be one of our most important signings this window.
For a long time.
Yeah. And just quickly here, this is just one second here. Let me see. This is Vince reporting that Lukaku's representatives of Rock Nation, owned by Jay-Z, by the way, held talks with Chelsea yesterday. The Blues want more from Inter, as their 30 million euros offer plus bonuses offer was deemed not enough, but deal could be reached at 35 million euros plus bonuses. Inter want Lukaku in Italy early next week. Then pay up.
He's already in Italy right now.
Go ahead. You said?
Yeah, he's already in Italy. He's in Milan right now. The question is, does he fly back to London to participate in training next week, if indeed the talks fall through or are not completed? I don't think he does. I think, but all parties, well, mostly Chelsea and Lukaku, I think both parties don't want him here.
Yeah, nobody wants him, if we're being honest. And quickly, we have somebody in the house, and we have to decide about how many minutes. We have about 20 minutes to round up. And I'm going to call him Steve-O. I think that's Steve-O. I can't quite see that. IB's his brother, I believe. Big up, bro, and welcome to the panel. I hope you're good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Crystal clear.
Oh, okay. Hi guys. Ibs just
Hello.
told me about what you guys do, and I'm also a huge Chelsea fan, so it feels good being
Wow.
together with my fellow fans in the community.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing you guys are talking about what the Caicedo thingy in it.
Yeah, where we're at with it. Yeah. Are you concerned that we're going to lose somebody you think will get it over the line?
I'm out.
Some rumors emerged suggesting that Liverpool are not interested in signing. Some are saying that Liverpool will look to sign him after the sale of two of their midfielders. And now Fabrizio just released this saying that we're the only club talking with them, and we've agreed personal terms with them, and negotiations are active and concrete talks between Chelsea and Brighton. Even
I'm
today.
actually
Go ahead.
I'm actually not too bothered, to be honest, about the Caicedo thingy. It's just I feel like Chelsea we're trying to sell a couple more players before we buy. For example, I feel like the Lukaku deal definitely has to go through before we can complete the Caicedo deal. I feel like that's the last deal in place, which we're waiting for to go through before we can complete the Caicedo deal. So I'm not too
Hmm.
bothered. Besides, I feel I'm sure you guys have also seen the picture of him when he was a bit younger, when he had the Chelsea jersey on. So
Yeah,
I've
sitting
got
on the is it the one he was sitting
on a red
on the
car
back
or
back
something.
of a truck with his mom.
Yeah, that one, that
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
So
Yeah.
I kind of like get the vibe that he's a Chelsea fan, but you know how football is these days. Like anybody can be a childhood fan, and then the money comes calling, and then you change your allegiance. So it's what it is at the end of the day. But then with Caicedo, I feel like he wants Chelsea because I'm sure you guys have been following in terms of like seeing how he's been constantly liking pictures, even things which are
Yeah,
as
like
like
in Chelsea's post for new Chelsea player
he's
announcements and all that.
he's been liking all our stuff since like before the
Hmm.
season even ended. And then he came out and gave the interview which he gave sometime I think this week or last week when he was talking about Chelsea being a big club and the fact that he can't resist that he wants. So like it's definitely the ball is definitely in our court. And I'm a bit confident with the Caicedo one because I know for a fact that Chelsea realizes the problem which we have, which is the DM issue, which has been a
And he
problem.
can
It's been a
fulfill that
pro-
role, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've not had a good DM since the best years of Kante, which I feel was like 2021. So it's
Hmm.
been a
Yep.
while since we've had a good DM, and we've been lacking on that. And we've tried to use Jorginho there, that we've failed so many times. We've tried to use Kovacic, Gallagher, all of that. So we definitely need a player of Caicedo's profile, and I feel like the club realizes the need for that. So I'm not too bothered with that. If anything, what I'm a bit bothered about more is the goalkeeping situation because I feel like we've addressed everything apart from that, and I'm not too confident with Kepa in the post still, but I guess is
Okay.
what it is.
And what was that? I think I was going to ask you something. What should we call you? Steve-O?
Steve, yeah, you could call me
Steve.
Steve or Steve, whichever. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you finding the time to join us on the panel here. And that as thank you for I think it's your debut here, and so far you're doing well. So it looks like you're going to be a good signing for us. Thanks to IBZ for the scouting work. I appreciate his Niger bro find a good player. But that's by the way, Chelsea have signed Abubakar Silla from Club Brugge and will be loaned to Strasbourg. 20 million euros is the fee, according to Fabrizio Romano. This is the first time I'm hearing that name, but I need to do a YouTube short for his signing. Good afternoon to you too, Colin. Biarunha. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Coach. It's all rumors being created by Brighton. They want to to pickpocket. You could argue that. We will sign Caicedo. I think you've heard that discuss him. Right now, I'd say 90% chance of us signing the player. He wants to come to us, and you've heard us before speak about him. He's been liking all our stuff, all our social media posts and all that, and it's been public about again very open with regards to how much he respects and loves Chelsea and all that. I think he comes to us. So Monday, is a day we travel to the US. If you're paying attention, Roger, this is Muno's answering that question. He's he's very good at paying attention to what the answers that people are seeking. And in most cases, if it's available, he comes in with an answer. So I appreciate that, Santiago. And that phrase, trust the process again. But in it, you can say you can say Roger didn't say that well. I know where you're going with that, but in a different case, maybe for lack of a better term. Roger, Brighton are also flying out at the US, and we have a game with Brighton in the US. I can assure you, if a transfer happens, Caicedo will only need to change kits. He wouldn't even need to change hotel. Yeah, that may well happen. Because I'm not bothered about people saying that the chance he travels to the US with Brighton. Yeah, if we complete the process, he can just switch camps. Chelsea all the way says Cho given permission by Chelsea to explore exit according to 90 minutes, and rumors are that he's close to joining. Is it Form? CFCOG. Always nice to see you, bigger brother. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. Roger should prepare for a court case relating to the elephant episode. I think Roger is not interested in representing Lukaku. If we have to be honest, Willie Mammoth. Roger isn't interested in. If anything, Roger will represent the club in that case. Let's see, Kai or Die. This is the first time I'm hearing that one. Good rhyme there. Right. I think we will get him. It's just hard to wait like Poch was. Not easy. We're desperate, especially the fans. They are leaving for the US on the 17th. Brighton flying out the same day.
That's uncanny.
Yeah, that's indeed uncanny. And whatever team he travels with, I'm not concerned, really. Chelsea faced competition from Crystal Palace or from France, according to the Daily Mail. I've seen that, and I've seen a report saying we're pulled out of the pursuit of the player because we didn't like the fact that our offer for the player was made public. Let's see what else we have here. Caicedo was trying to go to Arsenal just this January. Was he? No. What happened was that Arsenal were willing to pay the asking price at the time. I don't know if my memory serves me right. I can't quite recall what happened. Why? There's a chance it was all rumors, actually. Moises Caicedo's agent has dropped a hint that he could go to Liverpool, according to TalkSport. I don't think so. Every day, reporters are repeating the same news about Caicedo. Every day, they're just changing the sentences. You can say just rephrasing stuff, while at the same time recycling old news to make people want to read them. If that makes sense. Let's see. Harry has said he will not join. Harry Kane? He will not join Chelsea, according to Evening Standards. You're talking about Harry Kane?
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
Didn't see that coming.
You just did a serious tapping on me. I didn't see it. I was gonna go on a rant.
Wow.
I was gonna go on a rant as to why I don't think he'd join us ever. And I'm sure he means Harry Kane there. He made a whole speech about feeding his siblings. This is a money matter. Yeah, pay up and he joins you. I get it. Passion plays again. Preference, or maybe the club he follows, or maybe his preference for Chelsea maybe does wield some measure of influence, but not significant. If you pay him more, he'd join. I hope it doesn't come to that, because I'm concerned if it comes to that. We don't pay that well these days. If anything, even when we pay well, it's highly incentivized. I don't know if I pronounced that word correctly. 166 likes. You people are absolute legends. I appreciate you all. Lebov is excited by the fact that Chelsea want to sign Cherki. That shows you a lot. I think Lebov likes him. I hope we'll get him over the line. Here's a question for the panelists. Do you think it is possible that a deal or ever happens between Inter and Brighton? What would the deal-making negotiation look like? Oh my goodness. Roger, I told them any hard question is for you, so you go ahead deal with this one. I know it's funny, but you go ahead with it. I'm waiting.
Inter and Brighton, never. They will haggle over, well, the finer minutiae. Yeah, that would be
seriously contrasting, but go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like to be a fly on the wall for those negotiations. It'll be painful to listen to. No,
it will be indeed. It will be difficult to deal with, and one that doesn't have money. I think probably a fight will break out. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Reece James is fine and will be fine for the US tour. Following his scan via Simon Johnson of Simon Johnson Sport. So thank you for that update, Santiago Muna. I appreciate you saying that. Let's see what else we have here. Seems we still don't learn anything about players. You have to elaborate. You can't be putting half comments in there. I'm not going to try to figure out what you're talking about. Roger, anything else you want us to talk about here? Let me see any item we discussed. You didn't hear this year. You weren't here when we talked about it. We still have about 6 minutes or so to go, but let's talk about this. Mauricio Pochettino is keen to have a homegrown core to his team with Reece James, Levi Colwill, Amanda Broya, and Conor Gallagher among those set to benefit from that this season or next season. You have anything to say about that, Roger?
That's interesting. I mean,
and a lot of people are not going to like that because Gallagher is mentioned there.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Go ahead.
He's quite divisive, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's required for each Premier League team to have a certain quota anyway. But I think he's just trying to appease and appeal to the fan base and also to bridge that gap between the Cobham Road that separates the under 18s and the first team. You know, they cross that road. So I think that's just a very, shall we say, astute comment. And I think he's done his homework. So I think that's more of a PR or a very politically correct statement. There could be some validity to it.
Beyond PR and what was it you mentioned again? How about from the perspective that the homegrown core of players, you can say they define the spine of the team. They understand. They're the ones that truly do understand what it takes to represent Chelsea, and how you need to behave when you represent Chelsea, and all of that. I think that's a huge benefit from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you have your Lampard, you have your Terrys, etc. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, he recognises that, and he coached when Chelsea were at their heights, you know, their dizzying heights. So he understands and recognises that, and there's some validity to it to a certain extent. Yeah, I get it because it's part of the Chelsea DNA, isn't it? When we've been successful in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, exactly. So he may have actually looked at it and say he needs them. But go ahead with what you're saying.
As I said, there's some truth to it, but I also think it's a very, shall we say, very well.
It's a PR-driven decision, or maybe approach.
It's politically correct, but it's nuanced, shall we say? But I also believe it has some validity to it to a certain extent. I wouldn't quite put Conor Gallagher in the same breath as a Lampard, but I get
maybe in the future.
Listen, I'm being facetious there, but I get it. I understand. I can see where he's coming from many different angles from that comment. So it covers a lot of bases. It ticks a lot of boxes, as they say. So yeah, I mean, that's intriguing. I mean, listen, Reece James, certainly, you cannot argue that. Levi Colwill, I think, is a very safe bet. I think Broya will also be part of that equation. I have high hopes for him. I really do. And I think, well, I'm not sure about Gallagher, but you're going to have other players come through also. Then you have players like Chalobah also. I know he's not an elite player as of yet, but he's made that journey, transition, so to speak. So no, it's imperative, I think, because of the relationship between the fans, but also you must admit, Cobham is one of the elite academies in Europe / the world. It really is. It's produced some fine players as of late, and by the way, players that have not, shall we say, excelled for Chelsea, but have gone on to prove that they can play at a very high level for other teams also. So, it's he recognises that this is a feather in the cap, so to speak.
Yeah, and you could argue at times, even though we struggled, how we struggled last season. So at times, the only people you see that truly fought to
look at under Lampard.
Yeah,
look at under Lampard 3 years ago, whatever it was. It's we had to rely on Cobham because of the ban, and we did quite well. We ended up being third, and we used quite a lot of youth from Cobham in that. So he recognises that, and it's an astute comment.
Yeah, it is indeed. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with 167, 169 likes. That's not easy. I appreciate that. Seems we still don't learn anything. You have to elaborate. I'm just saying because I'm not sure what you're. My bro, Tengu Rido, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Good evening from here, Coach. Sorry I'm late. You don't have to say you're sorry. Bills all paid themselves, and lots of us people work to earn a living. So thank you, more importantly, for joining. Is that why we bought Jackson in, or looking at the likes of Vega? I'm not sure. You have to elaborate. I'm not sure why you're saying that. I heard that we failed on France, so that must be Chelsea really serious about Cherki. Possibly because Cherki, you can argue is plug and play. Now that homegrown thing means very little, especially after what happened with Mount. That is just your argument. If you're talking about what happened with Mount, how about the club tried to offer him a new contract? He didn't. How about they had a series of negotiations, talks, conversations, maybe, and were not able to come to an agreement? And both parties have moved on. So I wouldn't go to the extent to say they should, because they want homegrown players, they should, you could say, give a Mount a salary that will cause them a problem in the future.
Yeah, you got people like Tomori also,
Yeah, exactly. So
it's been Guri also. We've actually produced some very good players. And yes, not all of them work out, and I believe we've pulled the trigger on quite a few of them prematurely. I believe we should have kept Tomori, for instance.
But in most cases, you don't know who's going to work and who's going to
that's true.
Work.
That's true. But listen, Tomori was player of the year for Derby County. It wasn't Mason Mount, if you recall. So Tomori is he's highly touted in Italy.
Here's the case of Tomori. I think he fell out with Frank.
Yeah, I think we can safely assume that he fell out of quite a few centre backs, actually, didn't he? But it's like you look at Tammy Abrams. I'm not saying he's an elite striker, but they've produced quite a few players in the academy the last decade, let's say, and it's recognised and respected around Europe, and rightfully so. So, I'm actually interested to see who's next to come off the conveyor belt. I really am.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Thank you so much, Roger, for that. I think I've addressed that one too. Gallagher still at the club. Yeah, he is at Chelsea. Players with club kits while young, following tweets, liking these in that offer them money and they are gone. If players like Mount can leave, let alone someone like Caicedo. Here's the thing. It's just an advantage. And I think we've actually said it here that doesn't mean that definitely he comes to us.
Man, not all marriages work,
Yeah, exactly.
There's three
exactly. That's a good reference there. But go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, it takes two to tango. It's there's some instances where you can point the finger and say it's the player or the agent's fault, or it's the club's fault, or maybe a combination. It's just sometimes it doesn't work out, whether it's for financial reasons or ego or whatever the case. It's and you can say that for every club, for all their respective academies. Things like this, it's just part of the game, unfortunately.
Yep, I do agree with you. As we're talking, I'm also looking for updates so we don't miss anything. Yeah, I think we've addressed that one. Gallagher thinks we cannot see him. Maybe Roger, can you
That's cold.
Roger, can you see him? Maybe he's hiding behind Nicholas Jackson, one of the tallest players we have right now. That's not nice. I don't think Liverpool game is going to heaven. Let him prove me otherwise.
Oh, that's...
Gallagher have issues or heart attack when playing on the pitch. No, I think he's addressed that. That was when he was again very much younger. He went for the surgery, and again, that story I will never forget. And yeah, he's doing well now. I think they've corrected the issue he had. So yeah, I'm not concerned about that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I hate gameplay Call of 3 season. Okay, I think we should get Livramento back at Chelsea. We need 3 right backs with how injury prone Reece James is. Do you think Livramento comes back? He didn't sign a new contract because he was afraid of competition, even though we pushed to keep him. And it was just James then with the age of fast speed. He could have. You think he could that he would have you could say opted to stay, but rather he opted to leave. So I don't think he'd come back. And we've heard something to the effect of him saying he's not interested in coming back right now. Tomori, Tammy, Mount, James, Aki, Livramento, Lamte, all these players you mentioned, except for Tammy, Tomori wanted to leave. Mount wants to leave. James stayed. Aki on loan, and then we sold him. Lamte wanted to leave, but I'm sure that's not what you're talking about. But I'm just trying to make sense of why you had that there. Chelsea 100 million for Lukaku could have funded a global academy scouting the next Haaland. Wow. How can you want to build a core with the likes of Broya and Gallagher, but attempt to sign players who would push them below the pecking order? It's counterproductive. Roger, I'll have you address that one if you're still here.
So yeah, I'm still here. So let me read that again. It's like, how can you want to build a core with the likes of Broya and Gallagher, but attempt to sign players who would push them below the pecking order? I see. Well, you know, that's part of the competition. You can't solely depend on just the youth. You have to have depth, especially when you're a club like Chelsea that is invariably always in the top 7 and thus playing in Europe. So you're going to need depth. You're going to have a larger squad than your average Premier League team. So that's why. And don't forget, you bring in people from outside, and that breeds competition, which is good. It pushes each other. You know, you can't be stagnant. So we can't fund the whole team coming from an academy. No modern team can. So this is why you actually have, yes, sometimes it does impede the progress of an academy player. I'm not disputing that. But it also, you can look conversely and say, you know what, it breeds and incentivizes competition. So there's multiple ways of looking at it. And yeah, I do agree, and I do concede that usually, historically, when a player does come in with a price tag, it usually means that the Cobham player is overlooked because of the price tag. We've seen that historically, and I get that. But there's also exceptions to that rule, as we've just stated, with the likes of Lampard and Terry, etc., etc. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. I remember at the beginning of last year, everybody was bragging that we didn't lose when Chalobah played. Thomas Bays, I think he's still a good defender. I think last season he's actually one of our best players. If we're ranking how badly everybody played,
And we need Chalobah too.
We do need him, and hopefully he stays. And the good thing is that the club am pushing to sell him, and he's in pushing to leave. Thomas Bays, big up to you. More importantly, go ahead, Roger. Were you saying something?
Oh no, especially because of Fofana's history of injuries the last 2+ seasons. It's imperative that we have depth. We can't rely on Silva. We have to use him judiciously. So I think until Fofana can prove otherwise, Chalobah is important, either as a right back or right wing back that he did last year, or a centre back. He's invaluable. He's very versatile in that regard. So, and yes, I do agree that if we do sell him, it's pure profit, so to speak. I get that, but and that's one position I think we can't afford to sell. We can't reduce that because we've sold Koulibaly, so we can't reduce the size of that back squad.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roger. I'm not sure. Second D, what are you saying here? Fatah Gallagher, who's she responding to? I'm not sure. Gallagher is Chelsea. That's why he's still at Chelsea. Still a suitable transfer. Okay, but thank you for your contribution there. I'm sorry, I can't. Let me just move on. We got Gostu for a reason.
Identified. Yeah.
J Town Boys says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings, Coach. Greetings to you too. Is it true that Liverpool might move from Moises Caicedo?" No. I've shown you that some are already saying actually they're already in the race to sign Moises Caicedo. And Fabrizio, you can say subsequently, or maybe because of that, released a new report saying we're the only club discussing the transfer of Moises Caicedo, that we even had a conversation today. Yes, it's Chelsea remained the only club in talks to sign Moises Caicedo. Also, only club to agree on personal terms with Moises Caicedo. At this stage, negotiations are active and concrete between Chelsea and Brighton, even today. So you need not worry too much. If that changes, I'm sure he will be the first to let people know. Broya will need to improve a lot now. We have Pochettino just running with the ball to dead ends, and not anymore. I think he improves, and it takes a game time to improve. What about Ampadu instead of Chalobah? Not my decision. I like them both. One of them, to me, is a midfielder, and of course, also can also play as a centre back. So I think the more versatile of the two. But I really do not want to do that. Roger, would you take 40 million for Gallagher?
Yes, but I don't believe Gallagher wants to move.
And it doesn't look like we're too eager to sell him.
Because Mount has left. If Mount had not left, then I think Gallagher may not have a clear path to the starting 11, so to speak.
Yeah. And if Gallagher leaves, go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, because listen, it's pure profit, and you can put that towards, for instance, a Cherki or whomever, or it's net profit for all intents and purposes on the books. Now, we do need homegrown, etc. I get it. But for 40 million in today's market, for a person that has yet to prove himself at an elite level, yes, I would take it based on those numbers. I'm not sure where his career goes. Listen, Callum Hudson-odoi, if you told me 3 years ago we would be where we are today, I would have giggled because I thought his trajectory was very high. He looked like the real deal, didn't he? And obviously that didn't come to fruition. So I'm a little bit, once bitten, twice shy. I'm a little bit hesitant to see the progress for him. And I think Chalobah had a lot more to offer, technically speaking. And I'm not sure. Listen, he played very well for Palace 2 seasons ago. He scored 11 goals, and I can't remember how many assists, 1 or 2, I think.
But he was placed consistently on the flanks.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter. He scored 11 bloody goals.
Now, I'm saying that's just me, again, trying to make, say why he wasn't that effective for us at Chelsea. We tried to play him somewhere he hasn't played.
Comfort zone,
yeah,
right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
But who's been what's been the biggest goal scorer the last 2 seasons? It's like 7-8 goals or whatever, right? It's like he would have been our largest goal scorer the last 2 seasons based on those Palace numbers. So that's how inept we've been.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't know. Listen, he may never reach the heights with which we believe he can be attainable for him, but conversely, he may never have a start for Chelsea. I don't know. Because of today's money, we need money. Because of the fact we don't have a shirt sponsor, we're not in Europe. 40 million pure net profit. That's hard to pass up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't pass it either. No. But thank you for that question. I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat, and then we'll call it a day. We've been streaming for nearly 4 hours now. Chalobah is a weak link in the defense as much as I love the guy. Okay, I don't see Broya or Gallagher.
Sorry? He has his moments, but he also excels in other areas.
But that's something that's very common with players at this age.
Yeah, exactly. Look at his age. He's not exactly 31, is he?
Yeah. And I don't see Broya or Gallagher getting much minutes if we sign a striker in Turkey, for instance. Let's see. Toniadis says we should sell James Cashin now. I cannot see him playing more than 12 games this year.
Wow.
Okay. You watch Hudson-odoi, never impressed you.
Really?
When it comes to goal scoring, you cannot beat the man. J5, a perfect SG, and most goals scored at CFC consistently. Yeah, I know where he's going with that. But go ahead, Roger. You wanted to say something.
No, it's it's okay.
Okay. It makes no sense of forcing Chalobah out. We're not forcing him out. We're not looking to sell, and he's not looking to leave. But he just want to be sure that he has to be starting games, or at least get enough game time. Wasn't it Barley who talked to Cho personally to convince him to not leave permanently? Yep. How things change? Yeah, we changed our mind so quickly. Roger, if we need 3 more homegrown players in the squad to complete the homegrown quota, which 3 academy players would you promote? I'm not okay, Roger. If you're acquainted with academy players, you go ahead.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's very hard to do that right now. I don't see. What's his name? The one that plays for the left-footed chap that plays for
Hall
for England. Yeah, no, not Hall. The other chap.
There's the place in the attacking role.
Yeah. I wouldn't call him Premier League ready at all. I forgot his name. Sorry, I can see his face.
Harvey.
Yes, Vale. There you go. No, he's not ready. I'm trying to think who else is there. Cassidy is technically Cesar Cassidy is probably in that squad. He's been demoted there. Well, not demoted, but he's been placed there. So he's not ready yet. I think there's very few and far between players that are actually from our academy that can make that transition right now. I think if you ask Bobby or Ty, there's probably 1 or 2 players that are a year away from making that transition like a Hall did, I think we can safely say that. To me, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but Vale, no, I don't believe is. And he's one of the ones that you would assume is, but no, not him.
But he's not close already, actually, from what I'm hearing.
No, and Angerin also is not.
He's going out on loan.
Yeah, and that's true. He has, hasn't he? So it's just, no, there isn't.
Which means Gallagher most likely stays.
Listen, how many? Don't forget, it's homegrown players that you can be from a foreign country. You don't have to be an English certified player as long as you've played so many 3 years or so many games in so many years that you've played. That constitutes as being a homegrown. I forgot the actual technical amount, so I apologize. But it doesn't have to be. You could be like Gabriel Solanina, for instance, that's been here 1 or 2 years, and that qualifies as being a homegrown, and yet he's American. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
There's and it's so many players under the age of 21 also. So there's quote unquote loopholes to actually define that. It doesn't have to be, shall we say, an academy player. So there's a wide interpretation on that. But I do get the gist, though. Listen, we have reduced our academy players significantly the last 2 seasons. I get it.
Here's the one. Here's some report I'm seeing that will break a lot of people's hearts. The haters. A report UEFA releases a statement saying Chelsea did not break any FFP rules. Even rules in UEFA published a report today for the 22-23 season. I think that was probably why we managed it in a way. We didn't go into the market signing. You could say signing new players until the start of the new fiscal year. I think that helped a long way. If that makes sense, Roger.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that. I'm going to read it further so that we'll be able to talk about it in detail tomorrow. But thank you, Chalobah. Should have. Okay, Chalobah. I'm not sure what to make of that. Lukaku should accept the Juventus swap. Yeah, good luck convincing him to do that. Life. So let's see what we have here. Why does Gallagher get what he wanted, what he wants, and we don't? Oh my goodness, this sounds like two kids fighting. Does that Roadrunner not read the comments on Twitter? Gallagher, if you are watching, the door is open. Use it. He's probably not on Twitter. I haven't seen him on Twitter. Even if he is, maybe he's one of those people not paying attention to all those things. People like you, the beautiful game, are saying about him. The problem with young English players is that they get too much attention, hype, money, and celebrity status at very young age. That stops them from working hard and innovating themselves. They relax a bit.
I think you can say that for virtually all kind of players, nationality-wise. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think you can say the same could be true for Spanish players in La Liga, French players in French. I think there's some truth to what he's saying, but this is the modern game, unfortunately. Back in my day, when you were an academy player, you know what you did? You actually cleaned the boots of the first team players. Bobby and I have spoken about that before. You were boot cleaners. You didn't play. You didn't do anything. You cleaned the kit. You picked up the laundry. You literally cleaned the boots of the first teamers. You think these chaps do that now? You think Mount or Chalobah or any one of those chaps no, now they're, I mean this respectfully, but they're spoilt compared to 30 to 50 years ago. It's a different breed of players. Back in the day, when you were a professional player, when it was off season, you needed a second job to be like a decorator or something to pay your wage. Now these players, they're on ungodly salaries. The game has changed. It's evolved, and it's big money market because of TV contracts, etc. So, no, I get it. There is some validity to that statement, but I think you can say that across the board for everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roger. I think we've come to the natural end of the show. Just one more thing to get here. I tried to keep Gallagher inside Chalobah Koulibaly. I was the wrong defender to leave. That's okay. Let's see. Millennials, Roger. Millennials. Yeah. There's a cultural difference. So, by the way, we've come to the end of the show. Natural end of it. Actually, it's been you can say a very interesting, enjoyable conversation, debate, whatever, however you want to see it. I appreciate Roger staying until now and finding the time to join. More importantly, I appreciate IBZ, Steve-O joining, Steve-O's brother, IBZ joining. I appreciate Ty finding the time to join us. It's been an excellent show, but I appreciate you all. Thank you. Let's see those in the chat. Chelsea all the way. Thank you, JC, Mark and Neum. Keyshawn, my New York bro, the New York guy, if you prefer. I appreciate you joining. Lateness is greatness. And Jakaj, I appreciate you all. The beautiful game. Live show. I appreciate you, Chelsea, all the way. All of you. And if I miss Supreme Courts, if I miss your name, apologies. And Thomas Bays also. Apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And bye.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.